Welcome. Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. So, as we begin this show, we're really only going to have a couple of subject matters, and I guess we can call them a couple, but we're going to be talking about the Cowboys coaching news. And the funny thing is about the Cowboys coaching news, there actually is no news, really. And I'm going to explain this in just a moment. What we're listening to from people, you got to think about this. All you're listening to is speculation. That's all you're listening to. I mean, there's nothing else. You're just listening to a lot of speculation. And it's funny to me, people are getting themselves all worked up about the Dallas Cowboys coaching hunt, and I don't understand it. There's really nothing at this point. I mean, there's just nothing. There's nothing to really just... There's nothing. But you're going to keep hearing more and more and more. Why? It's amazing to me we're going into the divisional rounds of the playoffs tomorrow. And the Dallas Cowboys are still big headlines. That's it. What's going on, Jameson Taylor? If you on, it looks like then your progress is going good. So to God be the glory. You just keep on keeping on, brother. God will take care of the rest. And we're also, like I said, we're going to talk about the Cowboys coaching news. We're also going to look at the divisional rounds of the playoffs because, I mean, really, it's really something that we should probably be talking about because I do think we got a very, very good round of football coming up this week. And I keep telling y'all, we have a vested interest in this. I know the Cowboys in us doesn't want the Eagles to win. We got a vested interest in this. We have a vested interest in the Eagles winning, vested interest in the Detroit Lions winning. We have a vested interest in the Baltimore Ravens winning. We have vested interest in those three teams in particular because of the way they constructed their teams. And we want Jerry Jones to do the same thing. Now let's talk facts. We have got to stop letting the media. We have got to stop letting the media control our emotions. The media is controlling a lot of our emotions as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys coaching issue. And we let the media tell us. We let the media tell us that Jerry Jones was wrong for not allowing the Chicago Bears to talk to Mike McCarthy when there was actually no deadline. It was only going to be a week. Jerry Jones wanted first dibs at sitting down and talking to Mike McCarthy about the plan going forward. And I said this before. I don't care what anyone says. Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy both, they did exactly what they should have did. Sit down and talk. Don't put anybody else in it. Sit down and talk. And then y'all decide if y'all want to go forward. And some people are saying that they caught Dallas by surprise that Mike McCarthy refused whatever. No, these people, you got to stop listening to these people. There is no way. There is no way that Jerry Jones was caught by surprise. There is no way. Jerry Jones could not have been caught by surprise by what? By the decision that Mike McCarthy made. There's no way he could be caught by surprise. You already know that when you start offering certain things, Jason Witten being on the staff, lesser years, And I'm telling you, I will not be surprised if it leaks out later that play calling was going to be taken away from Mike McCarthy, who knows what else they talked about for all those hours? You have to know in the back of your mind, there is a good possibility that he's not going to accept these terms. And for someone to say that Jerry was surprised, these stories, they're just coming from everywhere. I don't believe it. I don't believe it because there's no way you can be surprised when you had him on a lame duck contract a whole year. You can't be surprised with the way the season turned out, that there was a possibility that Mike McCarthy was going to say no. And I know they knew there was a possibility of Mike saying no. And I know this just based upon what Bobby Belt reported. Now watch this. I told you all this the other day. Don't you think for a second that the Joneses didn't let the dogs loose on Mike McCarthy? I believe what Bobby Belt said is true. And it's amazing to me. I keep laughing at people who keep saying they don't believe Bobby Belt. And it's strange to me. They have no sources. Bobby Belt has sources. They have none. They have no sources, but they'll tell you, we don't believe Bobby Belt. Okay, what's your sources? Okay, you don't like Bobby Belt. Okay, Bobby Belt said he don't like Mike McCarthy. But Bobby Belt brought receipts. And you better believe Bobby Belt is connected more inside the Cowboys than some people believe he is. Oh, he's in there. He does a show with Brian Broaddus. He's in there. Trust me. If Bobby Belt is saying something, this is the part that people don't understand. We say that Bobby Belt is lying. It may actually be worse than what Bobby Belt is saying. It could not be as bad. But a lot of times when you hear people talking about certain things, you think, oh, you think that's bad. You don't really know the inside. And so I believe Bobby Belt when he was basically saying that Mike McCarthy was never locked in because of so many things. He came in, he lied to get the job. He said he was okay with not calling plays, only to not be okay with not calling plays. Y'all got to understand, this is what Mike was doing. And now we got people. Let's move on to the coaching news. By the way, done with Mike McCarthy. He's out the door. No more point in talking about Mike McCarthy. Out the door. Now let's move on to these other coaching candidates. Let me tell y'all something. Let me be perfectly clear. I am not advocating. And let me get some greetings in before I go into the coaching news, to the actual coaches that we may be looking at. Troy Dudley, first, appreciate you. What's going on? Big Dal, what's going on? Jameson, what's going on, man? Like I said, glad you're in the crib. Jared, what's going on? Roberta, what's going on? Oh, got Michelle in here. It's on now. I'm glad you're in here. It's on. We're going to be talking playoffs tonight. It is on. Queen V, what's going on? Uh-oh, you up in here? Oh, yeah, it's going to be on tonight. Y'all talking about who's going to win these games. It's going to be on. Again, Roberta, what's going in the crib? Yeah, it's going to be on tonight. Nisi, what's going on? Good to see you in here. I'll come back down and read some of these comments in the open here in just a minute. What's going on, Kelvin Bryant? Alex, what's going on? All right. Now, let's move on to Kellen Moore. We do know two things can be true, right? The Kellen Moore slander is insane to me. If you don't want, Jay Recruiter, what up? If you don't want Kellen Moore to be the coach in Dallas, okay. Okay. If you don't think he has enough experience to be the coach in Dallas. Okay. If you don't think he can lead men, whatever the case may be, okay. This is the problem I have. When people start calling Kellen Moore trash, that's when I have a problem. When people start saying things like he's a bad offensive coordinator, that's where I have a problem. Tell me who was better. Tell me who was better when Kellen Moore was with Dak Prescott, other than Andy Reid. Tell me. Tell me who was better. Not only statistically, but win percentage-wise. Tell me who was better. And y'all need to understand, I still don't think we're comprehending what I'm telling us. So, in 2 seasons under Mike McCarthy, in 2 seasons with Dak Prescott, 2021, 2022. I'm thinking those are the 2 years. So you're telling me, was Kellen Moore on the decline or the incline, I think it's called? Was he on the decline? Was he on the way down or was he on the way up? Because I'm confused. Kellen Moore wins 12 games in 2021. Kellen Moore wins 12 more games in 2022. But he tops 2022. He tops 2021. He wins a wild card game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and him and Dak Prescott put together a flawless game plan. They come up the next week, go to San Francisco. Both of these games on the road. He goes to San Francisco the next week. It was a defensive struggle between both of them. It was. Tony Pollard breaks his leg. It changes the whole game. So now we got to get Dak Prescott to throw 37 times. I've already shown the wide receiver core. You're telling me you're going to beat the San Francisco 49ers. This is what everyone's telling me. So we're going to beat the San Francisco 49ers. No Tony Pollard. CeeDee Lamb. He going to do his thing. And your second best receiver is Noah Brown. Your third best receiver is T.Y. Hilton. Your running back is Ezekiel Elliott. Some don't want to call him washed. Okay, he's not washed, but he was in the washing machine. So you're telling me that in order for us to beat the San Francisco 49ers, it's just going to be Dak and CeeDee Lamb. That's what you're telling me. I'm not telling you Dak didn't throw 2 interceptions. I'm telling you this same thing happened against Green Bay. And I'm going to tell you where these 2 things are related. In both playoff games, 2022, 2023, Dak Prescott only had 1 wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. It was the same story all over again. But that's not where I'm going. So Kellen Moore improves from the previous season. And because he loses 12-19, Mike McCarthy pushes him out. Mike McCarthy pushes him out the door. Where do they do this at? Because Kellen Moore actually improved over the last year. And then Mike McCarthy takes over, and in actuality, even though Dak Prescott, MVP runner-up, All-Pro, second team All-Pro, we may not realize it, but the team did not do as well the year Mike took over the play calling as they did when Kellen Moore was the play caller. And if you look at what happened, Some of the things that were happening in 2023 was a result of the defense doing some things, the defense getting touchdowns, but the offense as a whole, it was still. I don't care if anyone says. I've been hearing some people, no disrespect. They're saying stuff like, Kellen Moore's offense is fool's gold. Do we not understand the definition of fool's gold? If Kellen Moore's offense is fool's gold and it won 24 games, one playoff win. Do we not understand the definition of fool's gold? Fool's gold ain't gold at all. It's not fool's gold. I mean, it's not gold at all. It says that fool's gold is a substance that is found in rock and that looks very like gold. You know what that means? It's actually not gold. So how can wins not be gold? I got news for us. Because if you're telling me that because I don't really know what we're saying when we're saying it's fool's gold. It was 12 wins. He won 24 games, and 4 of those in 2022, 4 of those were with Kellen Moore. How is it fool's gold? He won 1 playoff game and barely lost the second one. How is it fool's gold? Can it be improved? Yeah. I mean, I know Dan Orlovsky talking about, the poor route concepts, the defensive backs can sit on the ball and blah, 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 blah. So now explain to me, Dan Orlovsky, and explain to me anybody who's saying this stuff. Explain to me, how was Dak Prescott then putting up video game numbers? How was Dak Prescott putting up video game numbers? I don't think it was fool's gold. Can Kellen Moore improve? Yeah. But was Kellen Moore a good OC? Yes. Kellen Moore was a good OC. You don't, it's just like how people do Dak Prescott. And this is the same argument I have about Dak Prescott. This is the same dumb argument. Because if you're going to say that then is fool's gold, then what is Dak Prescott then? Because Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott both did what they did. And this is why I still say people got to put some respect on Dak Prescott's name. Because if you're telling me then that if Kellen Moore's offense was actually fool's gold, so now we still got to come to the same conclusion. Then Dak Prescott must be better than good to actually win as many games as he has with Kellen Moore. And now, here we go again. Kellen Moore's with the Philadelphia Eagles. Kellen Moore's with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Philadelphia Eagles' record was what? 14-3. There's no denying that he has Saquon Barkley, and it's helped out. But he's 14-3. So let me get this part straight. So when Kellen Moore is in Dallas, he's winning 24 games in 2 seasons. Now that he's in Philadelphia, he's winning 14 games in Philadelphia. He already has 1 playoff win, and I think he's going to have another one. You get ready, Michelle. So he gets no credit at all. And all the wins that Kellen Moore is putting together. All the wins that Kellen Moore is stringing together. So you're telling me they're all strings for fool's gold. That doesn't make sense. Do y'all know that Kellen Moore can still be a good OC and not be the coach for the Cowboys? We do know we don't have to tear Kellen Moore down to justify him not being the coach for the Cowboys. We don't have to tear him down. All we have to say is Kellen Moore would not be a good fit for the head coaching job here. Okay. Okay. Now we can argue opinions. But if we're talking facts, and people need to understand what the facts are. The facts are not just what I say. The facts are not just what someone says because they have a name. This is the part people miss. And people can dismiss me all they want to. I know we got some Cowboy content creators. I've only been doing this for about 4 months. To God be the glory. Channel is growing really fast. It's fine if people don't give me any credibility, but the one thing you will not do is you will not be able to say, well, he didn't bring facts. I'm bringing facts. You're giving me your opinion that are going against the facts. Did he win 24 games or not? Between Dak Prescott and Kellen Moore, did he win 24 games or not? So, are the 24 games fool's gold? Because if you're telling me the 24 games are fool's gold, and the ultimate goal is the Super Bowl, then who else is there anybody else that actually has gold other than the Kansas City Chiefs? Who else? Who else is it? All have fallen short of the glory of the Super Bowl every single year except for one team. We don't have to tear Kellen Moore down. We don't. We don't have to tear him down. Jameson, appreciate you checking in, man. We're going to keep you in the prayers. We don't have to tear him down. We just don't have to tear him down. We can just say we don't want him to be the offensive coordinator and be done with it. But to say he's not a good offensive coordinator, and it's crazy to me. You're saying he's not a good offensive coordinator, but you're making excuses of why. Just like Dan Orlovsky. Yeah, he's not a good offensive coordinator, but he's winning. Oh, it's because of Saquon Barkley. Who calling the plays for Saquon Barkley? Who's calling the plays? I promise you it's Kellen Moore. And then some people are saying, well, he's got some problems in the passing game. No, he doesn't. Y'all might not realize this. No, he doesn't. Kellen Moore has no problems in the passing game. Just because they're ranked 30 last in the league in throwing percentage, just because they're not in mid-pack, yeah, they're pretty far back there in passing. But you want to know why? Can we give Kellen Moore some credit? Why would you not play to the strengths of the team? How many of us have said, Kellen Moore? Do y'all know? How many of us have said, Jalen Hurts is a running back playing quarterback? How many of us have said that? So if Jalen Hurts is a running back playing quarterback, and I'm not going to go that far, but I'll say this. Y'all better put some respect on Dak Prescott's name. Jalen Hurts cannot throw the ball like Dak Prescott. The only thing Jalen Hurts does better, and this is not a knock on Jalen Hurts, but the only thing he does better than Dak Prescott is run the ball. That's it. It's the only thing he does better. Kellen Moore understands something. Jalen Hurts, while he can throw some passes sometimes that'll make your head spin, you're not going to ask Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts may give you a game where he throws 35, 40 times, and he looks pretty good. You're not going to ask Jalen Hurts to come out on the field like they did Dak Prescott week after week after week after week. Hey, Dak, 30 times, 35 times, maybe a 40, 35, 30. They're not going to ask Jalen Hurts to do that on a regular basis. And they shouldn't. That's not his strength. I'm the offense coordinator. I'm not going to complain like folk do about I'm not going to complain about my quarterback because that's who he is. This is what the franchise decided. Jalen Hurts is my quarterback. So rather than me complaining to somebody saying, hey, man, Jalen really can't throw the ball like Dak. Jalen can't throw the ball like Patrick Mahomes. Jalen can't run like he can't run like Lamar Jackson. He can't run like Josh Allen. Okay, and you're fired. That's not what I'm paying you for. You're fired. I'm paying you to know the strengths and the weaknesses of my quarterback. I need you to play to his strengths, and I need you to mask his weaknesses through the other pieces that we're going to give you around him. And so he has Saquon Barkley. Why would Kellen Moore try to get Jalen Hurts to throw the ball 30 and 35 times a game? Tell me where that makes sense. What world does that make sense in? It would be the equivalent of having Matthew Stafford. Hey, you know what, Matthew Stafford? I mean, we know you're a prolific passer, but how about we put you in the read option? Yeah, we're going to put you in the read option. Not only are we going to put you in the read option, I mean, we're going to give you a couple of quarterback sweeps, a couple of quarterback draws. Hey, Matthew Stafford, we're also going to get you to do the tush push. Are you crazy? No, you play to the strengths. It's not saying that Kellen Moore is Ben Johnson. Not saying that. But Kellen Moore is a good OC. He is a good to great OC. I mean, how do you take away what he's done? You can say he's a good OC, even a great OC. It doesn't mean he has to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Come on. Two things can be true. He can be a good OC and not be a good head coach. And we have to stop denying. We have to stop denying that Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott were not good together. They were great together. We got to stop denying this stuff. It's not being genuine when we say this stuff. It's not. Now, let's move on to our next coach. We got some coaching news. So let's move on to the next one. So y'all better get ready. This Dallas Cowboy talk about the coaches is going to continue to go and go and go. And the reason being is the Dallas Cowboys are doing exactly what I said I hope they do. Do not rush and get a coach. Do not rush. Do not get desperate. The Cowboys are doing exactly what they should be doing. And it's got a lot of people in a frenzy. You know why people are running their mouth? Because Jerry isn't talking. Jerry is doing something that he normally does not do. Be quiet. Jerry is killing folks because he's being quiet. This is unusual for people. They're not used to Jerry Jones being quiet. And this is really the best thing that Jerry Jones could be doing. Jerry, shut your mouth. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Don't leak to people what your plan is. Do your due diligence, Jerry. Request interviews. Jerry Jones is requesting interviews from everybody. Black, white, green, and yellow. Jerry not even doing the Rooney Rule. Jerry is interviewing. What is he up to now? 4 black coaches? Maybe even 5? Jerry Jones, I'm telling y'all. Now they're talking about while DeMarco Murray is not going to be a head coaching candidate, it looks like DeMarco Murray may be a candidate for the running back coach. We already got Leslie Frazier. We already got Aaron Glenn. Deion Sanders is being talked about. And I think there's another black coach from the Philadelphia Eagles that they want to talk to. It may be the DC, I'm thinking. Jerry is leaving no stone unturned. And I think what Jerry is doing this time is absolutely genius. Let me show you what Jerry is doing that I think is smart. And then I'm gonna read a couple comments and I'm gonna come back to Deion. But I'm gonna tell you what Jerry is doing that I think is brilliant. You interview every coach you can. And y'all get ready. This is going to be going until November. I believe it will go until November because Jerry Jones wants to, I believe he's going to try to interview all the way up into some of the coaches who will be in the Super Bowl. So you might as well get ready. We're saying that there's going to be a Super Bowl announcement the day before the Super Bowl, Jerry's going to announce the coach. I wouldn't hold my breath on that unless somebody starts progressing really quick. And to finish the Kellen Moore thing off with a cherry on top, so we got people losing their minds because Jerry simply wanted to interview Kellen Moore? What are we doing? You can put together any campaign you want to. You're not going to influence Jerry Jones' pick. You're not going to influence Jerry Jones' pick. If Jerry Jones already has in his mind he's getting Kellen Moore, any of us have known Jerry Jones long enough. A lot of us don't know him personally, but do we not know him good enough? That if Jerry Jones is hiring Kellen Moore, Jerry Jones is hiring Kellen Moore. I'm not going to waste my energy on, don't hire Kellen Moore. I'm not wasting my energy on that. Why would I do that? Y'all might not realize it, but this social media era, it's the blessing and the curse. It's a lot of information, but at the same time, it is absolutely toxic. I want y'all to think about this. What if it was you? What if it was you? What if it's you and you up for promotion at your job? What if it's you? What if you were up for a promotion at your job and people were openly saying, now I don't want him to be the supervisor. What if you were just hearing people just openly say this on social media? No, we don't want you to be the supervisor. We don't want him to be the supervisor. We don't want her to be the supervisor because this and this. I mean, this is what we do to some of these people. It's crazy to me. Now, they're in a profession. Now, I'm not knocking it. It is what it is. They're in a profession, and it's the age that we're in. But it's one thing when we get somebody and we've seen their performance, and it's another thing where sometimes we're just saying things we're not even using evidence to justify what we're saying. We're not even using evidence to justify what we're saying. But I'm saying this again. We don't have to tear Kellen Moore down. We actually don't have to tear down any of these coaches. It's just like Mike McCarthy. See, Mike McCarthy, people don't realize where I'm coming from. And I think Bobby Belt is coming from the same place. I think the only thing is about Bobby Belt, he don't like Mike McCarthy. No, I like Mike McCarthy. But all I've done is giving you the facts. Mike McCarthy is not a good coach as in leader of men. His track record has actually shown it. The West Coast offense, it's no lie, it's terrible. Especially Mike McCarthy's version of it, it's terrible. I didn't write the article, someone else did. He doesn't use his weapons. That's true. We can say that he didn't use Kevontae Turpin right. He didn't use Hunter Lipke right. We never saw Ryan Flanoy. We don't know what the heck Jonathan Mingo is. We went from the Jonathan Mingo package to nothing. We don't even know at this point what if Trey Lance? What if Trey Lance is actually better than we thought? But it's the system that Mike put him in that he couldn't thrive in. What if? But again, I'm just saying this about Kellen Moore. Let's calm down. Give the pros and cons on Kellen Moore because that is more informative to people. Give the pros and cons. I like if somebody's going to break down the tape and show the route concepts. Okay, I can reason with that. Break that down for me. Break that down for me. Show me some weaknesses of why we don't want him back. Because I'm still saying that if he's got all those weaknesses and we still won 12 games, well, what if we tweak those things? Then what do we get with Kellen Moore? But I'm saying this too. calm down on Kellen Moore. I really don't know if Jerry's going to hire Kellen Moore. I'm just being honest. Some people they must really know some things, because I just don't know if Jerry's sold on Kellen Moore. I don't. And the reason why I'm saying this, let's move on to Deion Sanders. I don't know what Jerry is on Deion Sanders. There's a story out. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard it by now. There's a story out here. And context matters. Context matters. And I think this story, I'm not sure how much of it is true, but I think there's some validity to this story, people. And I'm pretty sure y'all have heard of this. I'm gonna get to some of your comments. I'm sure y'all heard this story. So this seems to be an issue here. Stunning report hints Colorado may give Deion Sanders to the Cowboys on a silver platter. So now some of this is making even more sense. According to this story, and I'm pretty sure this is the same story. Let me see here. So it says, according to James Slater, Colorado Athletic Director Rick George was resistant when Sanders approached him about investing more money into the program's NIL as well as his coaching staff. Now, let me say this. So Deion and his team may be using going to the Dallas Cowboys as leverage for Deion Sanders to get what he wants. Deion Sanders wants more money, because I'm telling y'all something. I already know why Deion is doing this. This is Jane Slater. She tweeted this out. One thing to watch following Jerry Jones' his initial discussions with Deion Sanders. Two people with the knowledge of the situation tell me Sanders approached Colorado AD Rick George Tuesday about additional money for NIL and his staff. He was met with resistance. Let me see if I can read the rest of that. It says the University of Colorado will either confirm or deny the information. Well, you've already confirmed it. When I reached out, Deion Sanders didn't respond when reached multiple times for comment. Now, let's understand something. I'm pretty sure where there's smoke, there's fire. There is probably some truth to this. There's some truth to this. It says this can be viewed in a couple of different ways. On one hand, it can be argued that Sanders is using the Cowboys as leverage to get more money from Colorado. In terms of assistant coaches' salaries, the Buffaloes ranked number 44 in the country last season, including 7th in the Big 12, according to USA Today. It is certainly noteworthy that George didn't immediately acquiesce to Sanders' request. This supposed butting heads may ultimately push Sanders to Dallas. The Hall of Famer just wrapped the second season of the 5-year contract he signed with Colorado. A few days ago, sports college football analyst Joel Klatt reported Sanders has a very, very, very good offer in front of him from Colorado, and he doesn't know why he hasn't been signed. Y'all remember what I told you? I'm not going to be shocked in the next few days, next few weeks, Deion Sanders signing enormous contract with the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, let's go to the other side of this. I understand exactly where Deion Sanders is coming from. Deion Sanders understands something. And Deion Sanders, he might need to kind of evaluate what's going on. Deion Sanders knows he needs more money to compete with the large programs. Deion wants to be a big, big program. Deion is trying to move Colorado into the upper echelon of college sports. And Deion knows you need players. You know why he wants the NIL money? He needs players. The more NIL money you can get, the more players you can get, the more recruits you can get, the more top recruits you can get. Deion knows, okay, can I improve my offensive line even more? Can I improve my defensive front even more? Can I improve my defense even more? Deion is looking, I'm going to need more skill players. First time I'm going to be playing without my son. Deion understands he needs a lot of things. Watch this. Deion, he doesn't want just any coach. Deion wants the Warren Sapps. He wants to be able to get the Mike Fishers. He wants to be able to get the TOs if he wants them. He wants to be able to get top tier ex-NFL quarterbacks to maybe come in and be the quarterback's coach. He wants the top tier of everything because this is one of the very reasons I keep telling y'all. Deion Sanders coming to Dallas is the very reason why I don't believe it's going to happen. Why is he wanting the NIL money? More players. Why is he wanting more money? For his coaches, for his staff. So if Deion comes to Dallas, is Jerry Jones going to pay, first of all, Deion Sanders top tier money? Number two, is he going to get Deion Sanders a top-tier staff and pay them top-tier money for assistants? And if the NIL money is for players, so is Jerry going to go and get Deion Sanders the players that he needs in free agency? Is he going to go and make trades before the trade deadline? And what is he going to do in the draft? Now, you see how this doesn't make sense? While Deion can use the Cowboys as leverage to get those things in college, if Deion Sanders leaves Colorado, how does he guarantee those things if he comes to Dallas? How does he guarantee those things? All this stuff is a grain of salt. Kellen Moore, I'm not going to get hyped up about Kellen Moore. I'm not going to get down about Kellen Moore because I don't really know if I don't really know if Kellen Moore, while he's being considered, I don't know if he's being considered as much as people may think. Deion Sanders. I'm not sure that Jerry wants Deion Sanders as bad as people may think, because I've been explaining to y'all this same thing for the last few days. Deion not coming here to lose. Deion's not coming here to lose. Anybody who thinks Deion Sanders is coming here to lose, you're sadly mistaken. He's not coming here to lose. I'm telling y'all, Deion, the show is based on winning. What Deion is doing right now to Colorado, and Joel Klatt has clarified that there's already a contract in front of Deion. You know what Deion's saying? I'm not signing that doggone contract. You're going to give me more money on this. You're going to give me more NIL money. My contract is fine, but I want you to take care of my players. I also want you to take care of my staff. Deion is saying this isn't just about me. You're going to take care of my whole crew. That's how Deion is rolling right now. And this goes to prove to y'all what I'm telling you. I know some of y'all don't want Deion Sanders, but if you get Deion Sanders, let me tell you something. If there's somebody who gonna make Jerry Jones move, he's only one of two. He's only one of two, and I really think he's only one of one. Y'all tell me, what other ex-football player, what other ex-Cowboy that Jerry Jones has an affinity for more than Deion Sanders? For all you folk who think Jerry Jones don't like black folk, I think Jerry Jones loved Deion Sanders more than Troy Aikman. I do. Y'all do not understand. Jerry Jones loves Deion Sanders. He does. He loves Deion Sanders. Jerry loves Deion Sanders because Jerry, when he got him, knew how superior of an athlete he was, how superior of a corner that he was. And Jerry absolutely loved the marketeer that Deion Sanders was for himself. Jerry Jones and Deion Sanders, I don't know what people talking about. They weren't able to work together. You crazy. Jerry Jones and Deion Sanders would be a supernova. I'm telling you. They would be a supernova. Jerry would not mind Deion Sanders shining in Dallas. He would not mind it. But at the same time, Jerry knows. He knows Deion Sanders better than we do. He can't bring Deion in without doing. He cannot bring Deion in without doing some things that Deion wants him to do. He can't do it. He cannot do it. This is why I'm taking this with a grain of salt. He knows he can't do it. And if he commits to Deion Sanders, all this stuff about Deion talking about, yeah, if the job is offered to me. Oh, no, that stuff is for Colorado right there. That stuff is for Colorado. That's Colorado talk right there. You're going to know when Jerry thinks he can get Deion Sanders. You're going to know. It's not going to be a phone call. It's not going to be Deion's people releasing, hey, man, there was a phone call and Deion Sanders talking about, I'm grateful. No, it's not going to be that. I'm not going to even raise an eyebrow to this until there's a formal interview with one Deion Sanders. The moment we hear that Deion is interviewing with the Cowboys, I believe it. Right now, I believe Deion loves the situation in Colorado. I bet you the money that Joel Klatt is talking about, Joel Klatt is on the inside. He's seen it. I'm pretty sure he's seen the contract, or the money at least. I'm sure they're going to pay him. But Deion is saying, no, you're going to do more than pay me. You're going to pay everybody around me. Y'all, I'm telling you, you got to understand how Deion rolls. Deion wants to win. And Deion knows something. I'm not the smartest guy in the room when it comes to offensive court. When it comes to offense, I'm not the smartest guy in the room when it comes to defense. So Deion is saying something. I want smart people all around me. And I want them to be taken care of. I want the creme de la creme of college players. And the way I'm going to get it is recruiting, charisma, and money. Deion got those other two in spades. When Deion walk in the room, everybody go crazy. All he's got to tell him is, I want you to come play it for me. These big schools, he knows when he wants those big fish, those big schools offer big money. Deion said, I want to offer the big money too. And he's got reason to do it. You know why? Because think about how much revenue that Deion Sanders has created for the Colorado Buffaloes. I know why he's saying it. He understands this is big money. And I'm putting money in this university's pocket. More enrollments. Can you imagine the merchandise they're now selling because of Deion Sanders? The money they're making off of social media because of Deion Sanders? The TV money they're making off Deion Sanders? The ticket sales? I mean, everything has went up exponentially with Deion Sanders. So he's saying something. I need you to put that money back in the investment. So until Jerry Jones formally interviews Deion Sanders, I'm not raising an eyebrow to it. Let's move on to the next coach. So now it's coming down the pike. And this is why this may be lasting all the way past the Super Bowl. Jerry Jones may knock a lot of y'all out of the box talking about Jerry going to make the announcement the day before the Super Bowl. Because it is being reported that Jerry Jones is going to turn this rock over too. Jerry Jones wants to interview Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Do it, Jerry. Interview him. Y'all have to understand, I keep telling everyone, interviews are beneficial. You can have somebody in your mind, but you haven't revealed your hand. And this is why you don't reveal your hand. You may have Kellen Moore in mind. But you also may have the opportunity to get Deion Sanders. But maybe Jerry is just playing the game with Deion Sanders because maybe Deion, you never know what the conversation with Jerry is like. Man, Jerry, I need you to help me out. Okay, Deion, what's going on? I got a good contract here, and I got a good contract here, but I need help with the NIL money. I need help with money for my staff. So maybe me and you use this as a way for me to do it. And who knows, maybe it works out for both of us. I'm just making up a conversation. But I'm telling you, Jerry does not mind Deion doing what he's doing. And Jerry is genius. He's just being quiet. So you can't confirm nor deny anything that Jerry and Deion is talking about. They're both marketeers. You don't know what they're doing. And I can tell you this, Jerry knows, and Jerry said it explicitly earlier in the season. He said, where Deion shines is in recruiting. And he said clearly, he doesn't know if that will translate into the NFL. He doesn't know. Because the way Jerry Jones operates is, well, yeah, Deion can get people here. There's no doubt. But Deion going to want to get people here and get them paid. Jerry would want Deion to get people here and they take less money. But it's coming down now about Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. And I'm so glad that he's putting them on the list. And this is the reason why. These interviews are beneficial for the team. Simply because Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, you don't think they've been watching the Cowboys too? Not like we do per se, but they're watching, they're reading the tea leaves, they're hearing things people say. They're not really focused on it like we are, but they hear all this stuff. And then their name starts coming up about coaching. And so now they get a kind of an alert of, well, this is what I would do if I'm going to go in there. If I'm going to talk to Jerry, I'm going to tell him this, and this. Well, that's exactly what he needs to hear. These interviews are all beneficial. Jerry is genius. Jerry is killing two birds with one stone. For every one of these coaches that will not be a head coach, on the way out the door, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones can say, by the way, if we don't hire you to be the head coach, would you mind being the OC? Would you mind being the DC? They will get to ask every one of these coaches that. Every last one of them. Now, Ben Johnson is not coming here as an OC, I'm sure. Probably not Aaron Glenn either. But there will be some of these coaches like the Robert Salehs. You can just interview him for the head coach job, and at the same time, it's really for the intention of let's consider him for our defense coordinator. Kellen Moore, I'm not sure if Kellen Moore is going to come here as the head coach, but I'm definitely sure that I don't see him coming here as the OC again and not being the head coach. So again, I'm just grain of salt on one Kellen Moore. And so again, Ben Johnson, this is a very good interview. If I'm Jerry Jones, this is the one dude I'm interested in interviewing. I want to hear what he has to say about what would he do with Dak Prescott. What would his offense look like around Dak Prescott? Because even if I'm not going to hire him, I want to know what he's talking about. Guess why? Because I'm writing all this stuff down. I'm writing all this stuff down. And then when I interview another coach, based on something being said, I might say, hey, well, you know what? What if this happened and this happened? What would you think about this? You get to get a lot of information through interviews. You get the information of what do people think about your organization. This is going to be very beneficial. And this is one of the reasons why for me, I'm not saying I want them to take until March, but I'm also saying do your due diligence. Don't do what you did with McCarthy. Do your due diligence. Don't eat some nachos and start drinking some beer and then get a little tipsy or whatever y'all doing, and then you let Mike McCarthy charm you. No. Do your due diligence. Jerry don't have as many tomorrows left as he does yesterdays. The clock is ticking on Jerry Jones. It's ticking on all of us. And Jerry don't have another 10 to 15 years trying to get another Super Bowl. Jerry got to move now. And a lot of people have been saying that Jerry is really taking initiative on his own to start interviewing so many people. This is what they're saying. So Ben Johnson is going to be it's beneficial for them to interview. It's beneficial for them to interview Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, because now you can ask Aaron Glenn, okay, so if you got Micah Parsons on your defense, what would you do with him? How would you use Micah Parsons? How would you use Deron Bland? What's your thoughts on Demarion Overshown? What do we need to do on the D-line? You get to ask Aaron Glenn so many things. It says, according to recent reports, it appears that this will not be the case this time around. Calvin Watkins of Dallas Morning News recently reported that this thing is going to last until mid-February. I said this from the beginning. This is exactly the move. If y'all remember, take your time. I said it. Take your time. Why rush and get someone who may not be good and then you got them talking about you got them involved in the draft? No. Take your time. Let the Super Bowl go, and then you can keep the interest of the media not only on the NFL but also on the Dallas Cowboys. It says Watkins said after noting that Detroit Lions coordinators Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are each expected to interview for the job at some point. It is likely that variable that will serve as the main reason why Dallas has to wait so long to make a decision. I don't know about y'all, but I think they need these two interviews. I think they need both of these. Both of these interviews. I actually wonder if they'll put Steve Spagnuolo on there. I highly doubt it, but I wonder if they would. It says, as members of the Steel in the playoff Lions, neither Johnson nor Glenn are candidates who the Cowboys can speak with until their season's end. This is the case because, as we detailed the day that Dallas and McCarthy parted ways, the Cowboys did not virtually interview either of them in the week between the regular season's end and the wild card round's conclusion. Per NFL rules, teams who have a bye in the first round, as Detroit did, can have their staffers do virtual interviews then and then alone. Once the wild card concludes, things are off limits. Technically speaking, this isn't entirely true, as the candidates in question can also chat with teams between January 27th and February 2nd. However, this only applies to teams who conducted virtual interviews in the window previously discussed, which obviously does not apply to the Cowboys. The Cowboys cannot talk to Johnson or Glenn until Detroit is done, whenever that is. This is also true of Kansas City staffers if that is not obvious. So that's what I was just thinking. Maybe they'll talk to Steve Spagnuolo. Or, maybe they'll put him on the list. So the Cowboys are doing right. I know we're all impatient. The Cowboys need to do their due diligence. Because I don't know about y'all, but I want the Cowboys once and for all to bring in a coach that's actually going to build a team. And I'm going to be honest with you. Mike McCarthy was very insecure from the moment he hit the door. Just by the way, it's being revealed, he kind of lied in the interview. Said he was fine without calling plays, only to step in the building and not be fine without calling plays. Hired Mike Nolan. People are blaming COVID. No, the New Orleans Saints were glad when he left the team. Many of them were glad when he left the team. That's Mike's buddy. And a lot of them, he's not the only one. They all bring their buddies along if they can. But Dan Quinn was such an imposing figure for one Mike McCarthy. He was never really comfortable with Dan Quinn being there. Amari Cooper, he couldn't deal with the different way of how Amari Cooper thinks and does things. I mean, he thought he was killing him in the locker room. So when you bring all of these things and add them up into totality, the reality is the Cowboys actually need a coach to come in here who knows exactly who they are, who wouldn't be bothered if the Cowboys put Jason Witten on the staff. They're not going to be bothered. Okay, put Jason Witten on the staff. But the only way he becomes the head coach is if I don't do my job. If I do my job and win, there's no way Jason Witten will become the head coach here unless I'm ready to move on. What Jason Witten going to do, sabotage the team? I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Jason Witten needs a minimum of 3 to 4 years of being an assistant somewhere, being an assistant coach somewhere, before he even dreams of becoming a head coach. So I don't think we have to worry even about Jason Witten even becoming a head coach here. I don't think we have to worry about that. But I'm saying all of this, the Cowboys need to do their due diligence. And I think it would behoove them. I will agree with some of y'all on Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore would probably be more the same. Kellen Moore is going to be easier for Jerry to manipulate. He's 37, been here before. He's going to be his first head coaching job. He'll be glad to have that job. He'll be extremely focused on the offense. And I don't know just how much he'll be trying to look at the whole team. On the other hand, Ben Johnson is different. You want to know why? Ben Johnson is an egomaniac. Anybody ever looked at him on the sideline? Ben Johnson think it don't stink when he go to the bathroom. I promise you he think it don't stink. But that's the exact kind of coach you need to be in here dealing with Jerry Jones. You need coaches who are sure enough about their business and they know who they are, so that Jerry doesn't make them shrink. Jerry can't shrink Dion. I can tell you this. I don't think Jerry can shrink Ben Johnson. You got to get you a coach. We got to get a coach. And I hope this is what Jerry does. Jerry's got to get a coach that he can't shrink. Because if Jerry can get a coach that he can't shrink, then that coach will be able to do something that Mike McCarthy couldn't do, galvanize the locker room. Y'all want to know why Jimmy walked out the door? Jerry couldn't shrink him. Jerry couldn't shrink Jimmy. And I want the problems that Jerry had with Jimmy with another coach, because if Jerry's having those problems with another coach, I got news for us. That means we went to the Super Bowl and won. I want that kind of problems. We need those problems back up in here. Because right now the problem that we have is not winning the big games. I want that coach that will not shrink and him and Jerry, or Jerry is mad because Jerry wants the spotlight because they won it big. That's the kind of problems I want. Let me go back. I'm going to start about mid here. I'm going to start about mid here and see what some of you all guys are talking about. All right. So I'm going to start with my man Alex. He said, I read Jerry is on a solo mission. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. They said he's on a solo mission. He's more ahead than what people think. See, this is why I don't believe people about Mike McCarthy. Nah, Jerry knew Mike McCarthy good enough. If Bobby Belt is reporting what he's reported, and even a tenth of it is true, Even if a tenth, and I know it's true because, again, these folk who say they don't believe don't believe Bobby Belt. I got a strange feeling when Mike Fisher said he did a great job on that piece. Why would Mike Fisher say that? Now, some of y'all probably listen to Mike Fisher more than me. I don't listen to Mike Fisher on a daily basis. But it was the first time that I had actually heard Mike Fisher say McCarthy pushed Kellen Moore out the door. I'd never heard that until Bobby Belt said it, and then Mike Fisher verified it. Have y'all noticed no one has disputed anything Bobby has said? For all you folk, I don't believe it. You can believe what you want to. You can say the sky's green, don't mean it's green. You can say anything you want to. I haven't heard anybody say, I hadn't heard anybody coming out and debating it. If even a tenth of what Bobby Belt reported is true, you don't think Jerry knew it too? Because I can tell you, I think Jerry knew exactly what Bobby Belt was going to report. I bet you Jerry sat back in his office with a cigar and a cup of brandy and just listened to Bobby Belt. Just listen to the dog get loose. I bet you he listened to him. Because some of it was true. I bet you it was worse on the inside than we even imagine. I bet you it was worse. Jerry is now doing his due diligence. Jerry didn't do his due diligence on Mike McCarthy. I just don't believe he did his due diligence. They're saying that Jerry's on a mission. And this is why, for me, Alex, I'm taking with a grain of salt. I'm taking the whole Kellen Moore thing, grain of salt. I'm taking Deion Sanders, grain of salt. Nobody knows what Jerry's going to do. They don't. Nobody knows what he's going to do. Pre-snap motion is done by all the remaining teams in the playoffs. Yes, for sure. Toski Tom, Troy's so overrated. The best offensive minds talk about how impactful it is. McVay, Reed, and Shanahan. You talking about Troy Aikman? You know, people have to understand something about Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was a great quarterback. I don't want to knock Troy Aikman down. I've been speaking truth on Troy Aikman. I'm still saying we're still only riding with Troy Aikman on 4 years. That's really all we're riding on him with. But Troy Aikman was a great quarterback because you have to be a certain type of way to be able to be around as much talent as he was around. But we have to understand something about the Dallas Cowboys offense when Troy Aikman was there. What kind of offense do you need? Do you need Ben Johnson's offense when you got the team that Troy Aikman played on? The offense was, what I mean by simplistic. The offense was simplistic from this standpoint. Everybody knew what the focal point of the Dallas Cowboys offense was when Troy Aikman was there. Run the doggone ball. And Troy Aikman would then be able to eat off of play action. And that's exactly what he did. He ate off play action. He lined up under center a lot. He ate off of play action. Back in the day, shotgun was for third downs. Shotgun was for third and longs. I bet you if you go back and look at the Cowboys, watch how many times Troy Aikman lined up under scrimmage. Lined up under center. That's what their offense was. Doggone it, they had a fullback. It was old school offense. So, while I think Troy understands a lot of things about offense, I think he's got a great mind. I don't think Troy Aikman would be, I don't know what y'all are discussing, but Troy Aikman, for example, Troy Aikman wouldn't be, I don't think he'd be a good play caller. He's never professed to even think, he's never even professed as much that he would be a good play caller. He was in the 90s. The Cowboys offense, I'm telling y'all, it was simple. Emmett up the middle, Emmett to the left, Emmett to the right, Emmett on the sweep, Emmett on the pitch. Play action, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Cosby. Easy. I'm not saying it was easy. But that team was great. The team was great. It was. Now, you got what they're doing today. Some of this stuff with these option routes and pre-snap motion and, all kinds of stuff going on today with some of these teams. Ben Johnson even designed a play that was so hilarious. He actually designed the play, or at least that's kind of what they were alluding to. He designed the play where Jared Goff purposely failed. I don't know if it was true, but I'm just saying these offenses today, they're just different. Nisi said, if Kellen Moore is the head coach, should get Doug Peterson as the OC, just know Witten will be on the staff. He's going to be on the staff. Nisi, that's why I hope Jerry hires a larger-than-life coach. Because I just don't think there are many coaches that can deal with the pressure of Jason Witten being on the staff. Jason Witten, I don't think he's going to sabotage you. But Jason Witten is a large personality. And I believe that when Jason Witten hits the door, I don't know if y'all ever dealt with a person who gets hired. When I used to work in the corporate world, one of the things that happened very frequently, there were always people that were hired on to be right in management. Or they were hired on the fast track to even be ahead of you. You're basically training them so they can be ahead of you. They're just kind of moving them through the company so they can learn the ropes so they can be above you. Well, them folks typically come in very arrogant because they understand something. This really ain't where I'm going to be. I'm actually going to be above you. So even when you're training them, they're kind of acting like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm above you even before they're above you. Jason Witten, well, I don't think he's going to come in and try to sabotage and necessarily act arrogant. But Witten is a large personality. I remember when Witten came back from the booth, and one of the things that ticked me off about Witten, this dude was slow as molasses. He could still block. He could still catch. Man, me and my sons used to be rolling on how slow Jason Witten was. When Jason Witten came back, Jason Witten was not supposed to be the full-time starter. And they were saying stuff like, well, he won't come off the field. What do you mean he won't come off the field? Yeah, he won't come off the field. So you're telling me Jason Witten was doing what the heck he wanted to do when he came back? They need a larger-than-life personality that can keep all of these egos in check. You need that. You need that. Kellen Moore becomes the head coach. Nisi, I've been saying, I'm not advocating that Kellen Moore to be the head coach because all I'm saying is I don't think to say that Kellen Moore is a bad OC is a lie. It is. It's a lie. No one's saying he's the greatest OC, but doggone it. To say he's bad, nah, I'm not going with that. I'm not going with that. Kellen Moore is a good OC. Borderline teetering on great. People can't have it both ways. Doggone it. If the man is the OC and the Philadelphia Eagles wound up going to the Super Bowl, so they went to the Super Bowl despite him. That kind of talk don't make sense. It don't. It's disingenuous. This man put together a 14-win season. Lamar Jackson had Derrick Henry. Did Lamar Jackson put together a 14-game campaign? No, he didn't. He didn't put together a 14-win campaign. I don't care what anyone says. That's hard to do. 14 wins? We haven't achieved it. We got 3 12-win seasons. We got a 13-win season with Dak and Jason Garrett. We never got a 13-win season with Mike McCarthy. We never got a 14-win season with Mike McCarthy. Man, 14 games is hard to do in this league. I don't care who it is. Chanel, what's going on? Let me get to some more here. Toxic. McCarthy's West Coast is, man, hey, Toxic, I call it stale as toast West Coast. That's what I call it. Man, it's stale as toast. It is. Chanel, she says here, let me see. Y'all talking about pre-snap, benefits of pre-snap motion identify coverage. Yes. Helps determine if the defense is playing man or zone coverage. You know, it's funny, Chanel, you mentioned this. Ray Lewis tells a story. I'm going to tell y'all why there are two quarterbacks in particular that admire Dak Prescott. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. Peyton Manning admires Dak Prescott because of what Dak does pre-snap. You know, it's so funny with some of these people in the comments. I'm gonna actually do a show where I'm gonna do a show where it's just only going to be the comments, because the comments be so funny on some of these videos when people start talking about Dallas Cowboys. And there was actually someone in the comments that said Dak Prescott is one read and scramble. What tape are you watching? What tape are you watching? There is no universe where Dak Prescott is one read and scramble. Ask any of the people who really know football, they'll tell you. Dak Prescott is a savant. Dak Prescott is up here. Dak Prescott is there. When Dak Prescott steps back, not only is he doing pre-snap reads, when Dak steps back, he's reading the entire field. He's climbing the route trees. Primary receiver, covered. Second, back to the first. Third, back to the first. At least that's what he tries to do. That's what he tries to do. And sometimes he accomplishes it. Just like Kellen Moore, I'm saying the same thing about Dak Prescott. People need to put some respect on this man's name. You do not win as many games in this league as Dak Prescott and be a simple quarterback. Dak Prescott is cerebral. One of the things he said this year, he was frustrated because he's seen things better than he's seen them, but it didn't translate on the field. I wonder why, Dak. Your line was trash. There was no running game. Poor route concepts. One wide receiver. Man, you can see the game like the Matrix. But if you don't have the players, if the play calling is terrible, it ain't working. It is not working. And that West Coast does not fit Dak Prescott. It doesn't. The West Coast fits a Cooper Rush type quarterback better than it does a Dak Prescott type quarterback. Dak Prescott loves the seam routes. Loves the seams. Loves the deep outs. Dak loves that stuff. Some go routes, some post routes if you can get them every so often. But Dak loves the seams. He loves those deep outs. He loves them. That's not the West Coast. The West Coast, 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, throw. Quick slants. 1, 2, 3, throw. Guy runs right in front of you, turns around. Hitch routes. 1, 2, 3, throw. That's the West Coast offense. It doesn't fit players. It doesn't fit a quarterback like that. It doesn't. Tom says, so many ignorant people who don't even know why they use motion, but will still say it's overrated. Even great players say how impactful it is. It is. Life changed for CeeDee Lamb. And he talked about it in the article I read last night. Life changed for CeeDee Lamb. He gives Kellen Moore so much credit because Kellen Moore did what? Lined him up at the 3 in the slot. Lined him up at the 3 in the slot. Put him in motion. It's the same thing that Mike McCarthy copied when the Cowboys took off after week 6 in 2023. The Texas Coast was actually a hybrid of Kellen Moore's offense and the West Coast. Motion matters. It does. Motion matters on both sides of the ball. Because Ray Lewis told a story about Peyton Manning. That's what it was. He told a story about Peyton Manning. Because Peyton Manning liked to give his cadences and then watch the defense move according to maybe motion or whatever the case may be. And Ray Lewis said something that was genius. He said, you know how we stop Peyton Manning? He said, rather than moving after his cadence, we would wait 5 seconds so that right before Peyton Manning snapped the ball, then we made our movements. Genius. Genius. Absolute genius. This is what Ray Lewis said. We didn't move. We waited. So because we knew Peyton Manning pre-snap reads. Peyton Manning determining what the defense is doing based on the movements they're making. They don't move, even when they move. So now Peyton Manning is, okay, so what defense are they in? What are they going to do? And by the time they would, just right before they would snap the ball, Lewis said they would move around. Now Peyton Manning can't do anything with them. Yeah, motion matters. It does. It helps. Kevin Edwards, what's going on? Man, McCarthy, man, I'm telling you, I call it Steelers toast, West Coast. Steelers toast. Nisi said, Jerry wants the show, but Dion will focus the team and will ask, what have you won to strut around like that? Let me tell y'all something. This is why I'm taking this Deion Sanders stuff with a grain of salt. Y'all might not believe me, but if Jerry brings in Deion, Jerry knows I got to be fully committed. Deion will tear Jerry Jones up in the media. He will. He'll rip him to pieces. Deion will mince no words if he comes to Dallas and Jerry don't give him what he wants. I'm not advocating for Deion. I'm just telling y'all what Deion is. Deion don't believe in losing. I'm sorry. Some of y'all are looking at the and the Y'all looking at the must be the money, the Jerry curl top, the earrings, and y'all looking at all the flamboyancy of Deion Sanders. Y'all do not understand what that's predicated on with Deion Sanders. All of that is predicated upon winning with Deion Sanders. Deion believes in you dance because you win. You party because you win. Deion is going to bring a different mentality. I'm telling y'all. Y'all might not believe me. I promise y'all. Dak Prescott under Deion Sanders will be better than he was under Mike McCarthy. I promise you. Dak Prescott will be better. Dak Prescott he does not need help with the X's and O's. He doesn't. Dak has stepped out of the real world. He is now cerebral because he's seen so many things. This is what you get with older quarterbacks, especially when they know how to play the position. And if you ask anybody about Kellen Moore, y'all better recognize something. Dak said it in the article I read last night. See, Dak was the third string quarterback. Romo and I didn't even remember Kellen Moore getting hurt. Dak was third string, got the first. But Dak said something about Kellen Moore that I thought was so astounding. He didn't say this about Tony. He said this about Kellen. He said it was intimidating being behind Kellen Moore. Because Kellen Moore was so smart and knew the game so well being so young. Fish reported, and others are saying When Kellen Moore is in the room, he's the smartest guy in the room. Dak Prescott learned from Kellen Moore. I didn't like it, but did y'all notice what Dak was doing this year? For a large part of the season when Dak was playing, he was looking at the tablet by himself. I didn't like that. I still think he needs Schottenheimer or McCarthy over there looking, hey, okay, this is what are you seeing out there? This is what we saw out there. Dak was looking at it by himself. A lot of people will tell you, up here, Dak off the chain. We already know Dak Prescott, I promise you, he will run circles around Mike McCarthy calling plays. Dak Prescott could easily, right now, be an OC in this league. Right now. Dak Prescott could announce retirement tomorrow, step onto an NFL team, and be one of the top 5 OCs in this league. Dak Prescott sees the game in ways people do not understand. Dak don't need help no more with the X's and O's. He don't need help with that no more. Dak needs a man like Dion in his head. I told y'all this yesterday. Coaching is mental. Coaching is mental. We may not realize this. A lot of these players, they've been playing football since Pee Wee League. Routes don't change. 3-point, 2-point, 4, whatever. None of that changes. Techniques don't change. The language changes. The fundamentals don't change. A lot of the fundamentals don't change. What you're learning is just like when you learn language. When you're learning Greek from English, like I had to do in college. The language, what you're learning, the words, they mean the same thing. It just looks different. It looks different. So you have to learn the alphabet of a different language. That's what you're doing. You're transliterating. They can be saying the same thing, but the language is different. So you have to learn the language. And then in some of it, you have to learn, okay, the language. So what does this mean? What does this mean in this concept versus this concept? But the basics remain the same. And so once you get to a point and you got all this stuff in your head, so Dak Prescott, very good mind. He has to know what he's doing and what everyone else is doing too. Blocking assignments, what the running back is doing, motion. The quarterback has to know all of this stuff. He has to know all of the language. I remember playing football. I was only focused on my language. That's where I was focused. I was focused on, okay, I'm playing wide receiver. I just need to know, okay, where am I lining up? Where am I lining up? What side am I lining up on? And what route am I running? That's what I needed to know. Quarterback has to know everything. Dak does not need any more help with X's and O's. None. Dak needs someone like Dion to get in here, to make things click in his head. Someone that gets in your head and say, hey, this is what you can't do. And it's not that that's not in Dak's head. But I tell my wife this from time to time. I tell people at the church this from time to time. See, you have to tell people sometimes. I know we disregard that, but sometimes you need to tell people certain things because it builds a level of accountability. Don't let them make the oops and the uh-ohs, and then you just throw down a book and then walk off, shaking your head. I don't know why you made that. No. You walk over to the person and say, what did you see right there? Why did you do it? You can't do it. And then you're better than that. Let's go out here and win this game. Stay in the game. Dak has a lot of that already in him too. But when you get somebody who is so good, where it's up here, it can translate from here to here. Now someone has to come in and put it all together for him. And the Cowboys haven't had that since Jimmy. Watch how Deion coaches his sons. Watch how he coaches that team in Colorado. Man, it'll bring you to tears the way Deion coaches that team. And I'm not saying Colorado is going to translate into the NFL. But I'm just telling you, sometimes when you start dealing with grown men, especially highly skilled grown men, you think about Phil Jackson. Could he teach Michael Jordan how to play basketball? I think not. But Phil got in here on Mike. And when Phil got in here, Mike was even more unstoppable. He was already unstoppable. But when Phil got in here, it was over. It was over. And that's really what this team needs. It needs someone who can more get up here rather than somebody who's just a figurehead. Let me see. Toxic says there are now many other teams that could be in the Super Bowl who use a considerable amount of motion, but I'll focus on the two that don't. Yeah, motion is a big part of these games these days. It is. Kevin Edwards says Colorado should and will pay Sanders more money this season than they ever had before. Kevin Edwards, I'll be honest with you, I just think he's earned it. He has. I mean, just the fact that Deion has brought them from obscurity. Now they're competitive again. People are interested in them. They're watching them, and it's equating into more money, more fans, more of a following. All of this, more enrollment, everything, merch sales. Deion has done wonders with Colorado. He deserves it. Pay the man. But I can tell you this. They mess around and don't pay him. This is kind of what this article is alluding to. Man, they mess around and don't pay Deion Sanders, and he'll be walking right into Dallas. But I'll say this. Take that even with a grain of salt, too. Because Jerry Jones knows. He brings in Deion Sanders. You got to make a commitment. Deion Sanders will be differently. Deion will be different than any coach that Jerry could ever bring in here. And I think Jerry knows that too. I think he knows it. Mills, what's going on? I want Brian Flores. Let me tell you something. Mike McDaniels is OC. Mike McDaniels. Is that the head coach from Miami? Wait a minute. Mike McDaniels. Okay, that's what I thought. Miami's OC. He's still employed, right? He didn't get fired, did he? Now, Brian Flores. Very interesting candidate. Don't think Brian Flores is going to happen. I don't think Brian Flores is going to happen. I like Brian Flores. I think what he did with Miami, he's the one who actually got Miami back on, he got them back on track. Flores did that. McDaniels came in and just basically took over what Flores did. But, man, hey, you know what? Mike McDaniel, boy, he in the danger zone. Mike McDaniel, he put all of his eggs in the basket of Tua Tagovailoa. I never would have done it. And you know what? Let me tell you why Brian Flores, and I'm not giving him an excuse for this, but Brian Flores was not sold on Tua Tagovailoa. He wasn't. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't sold on him either, and I'm still not sold on him. I think Miami made a huge mistake in extending Tua Tagovailoa, who has been injured every single season of his career, going all the way back to high school. There was never a year that Tua Tagovailoa wasn't injured. And I think it was not last year, maybe the year before last, was the first year he had ever went through an entire season without being injured. So which way are you going to lean? Tua Tagovailoa is probably going to get injured or not. And then all of his head issues. The concussion that Tua Tagovailoa had this year, I don't know if people understand how scary that concussion was. Tua didn't receive a head-to-head hit. Tua ran into the midsection of another player, and it did him in. I never would have signed Tua Tagovailoa. Mike McDaniel put all of his eggs in there, and it may cost him this year. Tyreek Hill is already trying to get out of town. It may cost Mike McDaniel, so he may be available after this season. I'm not really sold on him, but, hey, he seems to be a pretty good OC. Mills said, at this point, get Jason. Stop it. He said, get Jason Garrett back what we had to lose. Man, let me tell you something about Jason Garrett, bro. Let me tell you about Jason Garrett. Let me look real quick. Let me tell you something, man. Let's see. They're not showing it. Let me tell you something, Mills. When them dudes, when they hit that broadcast booth, other than Jason Witten, he was terrible at it. Man, when them dudes hit that broadcast booth, they're not coming out. They're not coming out, Mills. Once they hit that broadcast booth, that's easy money. That's easy money right there, man. Yeah, you don't have to do half as much being one of them broadcasters. Nah, they ain't doing it. He ain't coming out of there, man. He coming out of there. He said, get Jason Garrett back. Oh, man, I'm rolling. Yes, sir. Good night, Brother Jameson. Let me see here. Bills also said we should have kept Chris Richard. Man, I know, man. I actually thought they were going. I actually thought they were going to hire him. I did. I thought they were going to hear him. I'm sorry. I thought they was going to hire him. Brandy Mahoney, what's going on? Kevin Edwards said 2018, it was horrible. Let's see here. Real Fan 1, Sanders might be like, you're making me look bad or you're going to get me fired. Hey, man, I'm telling you, Jerry got to make a commitment to Deion. And that's why I'm not sold on Jerry's looking at Deion like that. Yeah, you know what, Kevin Edwards, the Cowboys have actually always had a problem. Well, I ain't going to say always, but even with Dan Quinn, they couldn't stop the run. They've just had a problem. They just couldn't stop the run. Brandy, you better believe he's using it. I just talked about this, Brandy. I just talked about the thing with Deion. This is all coming from now, Brandy, where we've now got kind of confirmation. This is actually coming from the fact that right here again, I just put it up on the screen real quick. What happened is the athletic director for Colorado, Deion, is asking for more money for his staff and NIL money, and he's being met with resistance. They got a great contract, according to Joel Klatt. They have a great contract on the table for him, but that ain't going to be good enough for Deion. Deion wants to take care of his staff, too. Roberta said, I need to be Deion's secretary. Boy, Deion about to get everybody paid, Roberta. He about to get everybody paid. We need a head coach that won't get jealous of success. That's it. That's what I'm telling you. Nisi, you got to get a bigger than life. A head coach who knows who he is and will not shrink if Jerry decides to put Jason Witten on the staff. This is the stuff you got to put up with Jerry. You just got to know what it is. It's just like going into a relationship. You got to know what it is. And you teach people how to treat you. And you tell people what you will and what you will not put up with. But if you're larger than life, I said this a couple of days ago, I'm of a different ilk. Take my job. You that good? Take it. Take my job. If you took my job, as Tony Romo said, this is a meritocracy. You can have it. If you better than me, you can have it. You can have it. I'm telling you. Disco Mike Wood, what's going on? Philadelphia Cowboys fan for life. Good job and good information. Appreciate you. We about to jump into the playoffs here in just a second. Richard, what's going on? Let me see. Jerry says, Brandon Mahoney. I think Jerry Jones is being quiet, for sure. Recruiting Deion Sanders in silence. I think he's coming to Dallas. We'll see. But I think what Jerry's doing is genius, Jared. This is one of the best things Jerry could have done. Be quiet. It's one of the best things he could have done. Jerry helps Deion. Deion helps team with players. Yeah. Deion is going to do something to this team, I'm telling you. Because the thing I like about Deion, people don't understand. Deion wants to win. And Deion is a mental guy. Man, I'm telling you, just go listen. Just go listen to some of this man's post-game, the post-game discussion with his team. Whew. Man. Deion, the hell you want to get out there and play. Deion is teaching his team. Let me tell you another place he could help us. Deion has his own show on Tubi. Shador has a podcast while playing on the team. Go listen to Shador's podcast. You can tell. His father has told him what to say and what not to say. If you listen to his podcast, not a lot of, it's just not a lot of, you're not really tripping on it. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, he could help a Michael Parsons. Hey, Mike, there's some stuff you don't say, man. See, Deion got that kind of authority. Michael, come on in here, man. There's some things you don't say. There's some things you keep in-house. You don't say that stuff out. You don't say that stuff out there. You keep this stuff in here. I'm not opposed to your podcast, Michael, but you're not going to be out there saying anything you want to about this team. He can help him with that too. Real Fan 1, this is one of the reasons why, and I think you're making a good point. You said that no one serious will want to come here and waste their time and get fired because of a messy situation. And so this is one of the reasons why what Bobby Belt is reporting is what Jerry Jones also saw in the building. And I think Jerry Jones is trying to rectify this. This is why he's going to do his due diligence on this. Jerry ain't going to do this mess with Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, y'all might not realize, this dude was an insecure mess. He was an insecure mess. He was. He knew what it was when he came in and got insecure over what it was. Hold on. Now, you can't be and I don't believe in all the side chicks. I'm just saying. You think about women who sign on to be a side chick. They signed on to be a side chick, and all of a sudden they start wanting to be the wife. Oh. This is what you signed up for. No, don't sign up to be a side chick. That's the moral to the story. Don't sign up to be no side chick. Because you can't be a side chick coming in trying to be the wife. You know what it is when you come in. You don't get to change it. And that's why whoever come in here, they need to know what it is. And get all of these things and this understanding straight with Jerry Jones. You know what it is. But the thing about a Deion Sanders and the thing about even what Ben Johnson is trying to do, they're trying to tell Jerry, no, I'm going to tell you, you need to understand if you hire me, you need to know what it is too. That's what they're telling Jerry. And I think that's exactly what Jerry needs, is somebody who will tell him how it is. And I think he'll appreciate it. Kevin Bryan says, gee, I know it's about money, but I want Jerry to hire coaches that want to come here to kick butt and win a Super Bowl and run it ESPN and run it in ESPN, the NFL Network, and show them what's up. I think that's what you'll get in Deion Sanders. I think that's what you'll get in a Ben Johnson. I think that's what you'll get in an Aaron Glenn. I think you'll get that same thing out of Mike Flores. I think you'll get that from those caliber of coaches. Kevin said, I think we need to be more like Dallas of the past and have 4 Michael Parsons instead of 1. I don't like our mindset. 1 man is easy to defend instead of 4. Yep. I 100% agree. I do. MG, what's going on? You already MG. Now you gonna stop all this stuff, man. MG, have you ever been told when you go to somebody's crib, man, don't show out, man? Don't come in here show it out, man. Don't come in here saying that kind of stuff, talk about deal or not. Man, stop it. Stop all that stuff, man. Gavin Smith, Jerry Jones, remember what that Eagles fan told him. Hey, Garvin, I did a video on that. Matter of fact, I got a video on my channel about that. Did the Philadelphia Eagles fans motivate Jerry Jones? And Jerry Jones said, I was laughing first. Jerry Jones was laughing. Boy, you can tell that look on Jerry Jones' face. Jerry Jones said, you good. Jerry Jones said, you good. Because Jerry Jones said, yeah, you got me. Yeah, you got me. I know what you're saying, though. He said, you good. Shoot, you don't think they got up under Jerry's skin? Man. Jerry said Dan Orlovsky is one of those people that said that he only put up the numbers that he did because he was facing bad teams. Man, Dan was terrible. Garvin said, I believe he's changed the way he's doing business. Man, I'm telling you, I see a buildup with Jerry Jones. I'm realizing something that I didn't understand it until I started hearing more of the story. But now it makes sense to me, Garvin. People do not understand why Jerry blew this team up. Jerry was absolutely disgusted at the job Mike McCarthy did. Jerry faked and fronted this entire season until the last game. And I knew, we did the video and we listened to Jerry Jones' press conference. I said it. This don't sound like the same Jerry Jones who been hyping up Mike McCarthy the whole season. Now, he wasn't hyping him up on that last interview. Jerry Jones, I want us to think about this. He let Mike McCarthy do a lot of things his way. They ran out Amari Cooper. Don't let Jerry Jones fool you. They could have easily done some things with Amari Cooper's contract and kept Amari Cooper in town. They let Mike McCarthy push out Amari Cooper. They let him push out Kellen Moore. They let him do, obviously, some things in the draft because he talked about it. They let him have the play calling back when we know doggone well it's obvious. They didn't want him to have the play calling because if they wanted him to have the play calling, they would have gave it to him when he came on the team. And he muscled his way and got it. And when that joker got everything he wanted, Jerry was disgusted. Not at how Dak Prescott looked. Not at how Michael Parsons looked. At how the entire team looked unprepared. Dan Quinn wasn't worried about it. Dan Quinn was already out the door. Dan Quinn threw that game and got up out of this piece. But it wasn't just Dan Quinn. That offense had no answer. It was terrible. Whole team looked unprepared. Whole team looked unprepared. Jerry was disgusted at Mike McCarthy. And that's why he put him on a lame duck contract. Jerry wanted to win, but he knew they wasn't going to win. Jerry knew they were not going to win big. He would still have the option, and he had it. Still had the option of doing to Mike McCarthy exactly what he did to others. People can act brand new all they want to. Jerry Jones knew Mike McCarthy long enough to know that when he sat down with Mike McCarthy in that office, that's why he didn't put no contracts and no money up there first, because he knows I'm about to hit this joker right between the eyes, and I'm going to tell him that if you're going to stay, you're going to be relegated to a figurehead, and that's it. You're going to be a placeholder. And we're going to put Witten on staff, and Witten will probably be the next coach. I think Jerry's trying to operate different too. I think all of this stuff building up with the Netflix special, and I keep saying, I don't think it's going to be next year. I think it's going to be 2026. Cowboys are getting the chip in 2026. That's what I believe. Doughboy said Dan Quinn is overrated. I don't think Dan Quinn's overrated. I don't know who's saying that. I don't know. Dan Quinn's not overrated. I don't think he's overrated. I think Dan Quinn, everybody knows exactly what Dan Quinn is. You give Dan Quinn the players, Dan Quinn will do the job. And that's pretty much and I can't say that's with everybody, because some people have had players and they haven't done the job. But Dan Quinn, Super Bowl winner with the Seattle Seahawks, went to the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots and lost one of the worst Super Bowls ever. Came back on for 21 points. Couldn't stop the New England Patriots, and a part of that was Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan was a part of that staff. Couldn't put together not one drive to be able to at least slow down the New England Patriots and keep them off the field. I mean, it was just awful. But, Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, this is what you have to understand about Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's defenses, they work better when you have a lead. If you got a lead, if Dan Quinn's your defense coordinator, he got a lead, you ain't even got to worry about it. He is literally going to wear the team out that he's playing against, because they're going to get blitzed all kinds of ways. All kinds of exotic blitzes from all different types of places. Dan Quinn's defenses are designed to play with a lead. They don't play as well from behind. Dan Quinn's defenses will make big plays because Dan Quinn will take a lot of risk in his defenses. But high risk, high reward. Dan Quinn will give up big plays. Dan Quinn will give up big runs. Dan Quinn will give up games. But in the overall concept of things, Dan Quinn builds great cultures. He builds great camaraderie. And I think he teaches football really well. I think he teaches it pretty well, especially for what he does. But Dan Quinn, I mean, he's no different than anybody else. He needs players. He needs exceptional players, because I'm telling you, there are some chinks in his armor too, as it applies to defense. But I mean, as it applies to his defenses. But what he had in Seattle, Legion of Boom was insane. Legion of Boom was insane. He has never had that type of defense again. We'll see what he does in Washington. I'm a little bit concerned, though. He gave up so much for Marshawn Lattimore. Texas Trucker said Eagles will never catch the Cowboys in Super Bowl wins. Just because they might go if you don't win don't mean, yeah, they probably, Cowboys, man, they got a good winning history. They really do. So it will be hard to catch up on them. Ice Cold Cowboy in the crib, man. What's going on? So let's change gears for a moment, for the last few moments. We do got the playoffs coming up, and I'm pretty sure some of us will be watching the playoffs tomorrow. So I do want to have some discussions on the playoffs, especially with Michelle and some of these other folks running around here. Man, y'all running around here killing me talking, man. I know y'all heart speaking. Man, y'all killing me talking about the Rams. The Rams finna beat. Talking about the Rams finna about to beat the Eagles. Man, who else in here think the Rams are about to beat the Eagles? This is just blasphemy. Y'all think that I could see if you were saying that Detroit gonna beat the Eagles. Man, y'all talking about the Rams? The Rams. I'm not buying it. Let's pull up our playoff stuff here. I am not buying these doggone Rams like y'all buying these Rams. Talking about they about to beat up on beat up on the Eagles like this. Hold on a second. Talking about these Rams about to beat up on the Eagles. Let's see what our schedule look like for tomorrow here on these games. See who will be watching. So tomorrow is the 18th. Okay, so tomorrow we have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans. And we have the Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions. So these are the two games for tomorrow. Two games for tomorrow. And let me see something here. I want to pull something up. See if I can still have it here. So tomorrow, there are some people that are actually saying that the Houston Texans are going to upset the Kansas City Chiefs. Who else is in that belief? That the Houston Texans are going to upset the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't go there. I cannot go. I can't even put my mind in a place to where the Houston Texans are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't do it. I cannot do it for a second. And there are some people, let me see here. I was trying to find, hold on just a second. There are some people who are actually saying that this is going to happen tomorrow. I just can't do it. I can't go there with this. Let me see if they still have this thing up. All right. Let's see. Okay. I think they still have it up here. Seventh seed. Okay, so they actually haven't updated this. I was looking at the playoff maker and see if they had this. Let's see, maybe they do. Okay, yeah, they're not doing it. Okay, so again, all right. So tomorrow, it's the Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs. So who got the Houston Texans upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs? Let me go down in the chat. Some of the stuff y'all are talking about, we'll address this as we talk about these playoff teams. All right, let me go down here. Okay, I got some people talking. Let's see. Wait. Let me get to y'all talking this. Freddie Morales in the building. What's going on? Wilson Santiago, what's going on with you? Let me see. wait, hold on a second. Nisi said, I'm waiting for all your lives this weekend. I'm definitely going to be doing it too. I will definitely be going live. I'm telling you, Nisi, if the Philadelphia Eagles come out against the Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles roll up in here and throw the ball 30 times, like you said, I'm talking even if they throw the ball 20 to 25, I'm going to run a halftime show in this game on Sunday. I'll have to run a halftime show on that because that is going to be bonkers if they actually come out and do that. That will be absolutely bonkers. Vincent Johnson, what's going on? He said the Rams will struggle to keep the game close. I'm gonna be honest with you, Vincent. I don't even think the Rams are even close to Philly. I don't even think the Rams are close to Philly. I think this is a huge mismatch. And the reason why I think it's going to be a huge mismatch, because if I'm not mistaken, Philly beat the Rams earlier in the season. I think it was 37-20. I think it's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a problem because I just don't think the Rams have an answer for the run game. I just don't think they're going to have an answer. I don't think they're going to have an answer for the Philadelphia Eagles run game. And I'm pretty sure that was the case the first time they faced them, when they faced them this season. And people say, well, this what happened this season don't matter. Oh, yeah, it does. You better believe it does. It matters. Yeah, the score was 37-20. I mean, they beat the absolute dog breaks. They beat the brakes off the Rams. I mean, look at this, man. This is crazy. Jalen Hurts, 15 for 22, 179, one touchdown. That's exactly what I want from Jalen Hurts. I don't want Jalen Hurts throwing the ball, Nisi. I do not want Jalen Hurts throwing the ball even 22 times in the first half. This is the type of game I want to see again from Jalen Hurts if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon Barkley, let him loose. He took a week off. This dude went 26 for 255 and 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 6 receptions, 109 yards. Let Saquon Barkley loose. I just don't think they're going to have an answer for Saquon. I don't think they're going to have an answer for Saquon Barkley. And I don't think they're going to have an answer for Jalen Hurts running the football. If you don't think 12 for 39 hurts, That actually hurts, no pun intended. I just don't think they're going to have an answer. I don't think they're going to have an answer. Where Michelle at? What's up? The only way the Eagles win is because of what? Did you just say because of the weather? Hold on a second. Oh, hold on a second. Was it the first game they played in the dome? I mean, wasn't it in that spaceship that the Rams play in? Michelle, they played in a spaceship the first time, and they stomped them 37-20. They stomped them boys 37-20. They mess around and get them in Philadelphia, boy. It might be 40. It might be 41-7. It might be 41. It might be 41-7 up in this thing. I'm calling this one. I'm calling this one on Philly and the Rams. That game is a wrap to me. I don't think the Eagles are going to stop until they get to Detroit. I don't think Philly is stopping until they get to Detroit. I don't. I do not think they're stopping until they get to Detroit. Jay Recruiter, why do the Rams have to win? Explain to me why they have to win, Jay Recruiter. Jay Recruiter said they have to win. Wilson said Philly has a good chance to play in the Super Bowl. They do. They're built to win. They can control both sides of the line of scrimmage. They can run the ball. Their quarterback can run the ball. They got that doggone tush push. That's insane. They can win on 3rd and 1s. They can win on 4th and 1s because they not only use the tush push for the goal line, they use the tush push for 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s. The tush push is so successful with them, the Philadelphia Eagles really put you in a crunch because think about what the Philadelphia Eagles do to you on a 3rd and 1. The Philadelphia Eagles on 3rd and 1 are lethal. You know why? They're the only team to me in the league. The Eagles are the only team in the league that can say 3rd and 1, let's take a shot. What do you mean, let's take a shot? Because the tush push is unstoppable and we can get it on 4th and 1, 3rd and 1. We're going to take a shot. We're going to take a shot. So you better be ready because we may line up a certain way and we still drop back and take a shot. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. That tush push is a play. A lot of people keep saying it should be outlawed. I mean, I don't know if it should or not, but it's hard to stop. And that play in their pocket makes them lethal. It literally makes them lethal. So I'm telling y'all, the Vikings did a good job. I think they had a weaker schedule. They did a good job. Sam Darnold did a good job. I'm not blaming Sam Darnold for the Rams loss like some people are. I'm sorry, man. You get sacked 9 times. You can blame a couple of them. You can blame 3 of them. But you can't blame 9 sacks on the quarterback. Man, Sam Darnold didn't even have time to blink on some of those doggone sacks. They're not going to do that to the Rams. I mean, they're not going to do that to the Eagles because the Eagles have a way better offensive line. The Eagles have a way better offensive line than the Minnesota Vikings. And so we have to understand something about this league. This league is about matchups. And this is a bad matchup. This is literally a bad matchup for the Rams. Because you got a team that can actually keep your quarterback off the field. They can just keep Matthew Stafford off the field. I mean, it's that simple. They can just keep him off the field. He can be a prolific passer, but I think he's going to have problems too because they're going to be all on him. They will literally be all on him. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles and where they rank. Points per game, 7. Yards per game, 10, 8. I mean, you just look at them across the board. Look at this insane 4th down conversion. Their 4th down conversion ratio is insanity. 71%. You want to know why? Because on third down, if it's 3rd and 1, they can call a regular play and take a shot. And then on 4th down, how do you stop them? Red zone scoring percentage, just 17th, 3.1 touchdowns per game. Rushing is going to be the Rams' problem. The Rams are going to have a fit with this right here. They are literally going to have a fit. Philly's offense is insane with the run. And somebody might say, oh, that's a big deal. There are 2 things that travel well in the playoffs: defense and run games. Defense and run games. Defense wins championships. Run games dominate games. When you got that combination, shoot, I don't know what that's hard to stop. The Rams, I like Sean McVay. I like Matthew Stafford. Y'all better recognize something. The Rams are a finesse team. They are. That's the very reason why, Michelle, you talking about the only way they win is the weather. They're a finesse team. I mean, they are a finesse team. They are. They're a finesse team. Let's look at their matchup real quick, and then we're gonna go actually to the Saturday games. But look at the comparison between these 2 teams. So for everybody who say that the Rams gonna win, tell me what you're basing that on. What you basing that on? You can't base it on the game they played this season. Got the brakes beat off of them. Yards per play, Philly. Points per play, Philly. Rush play percentage, Philly. Pass play percentage, negligible. Completion percentage, Philly. Third down percentage, Philly. Red zone scoring, Philly. But this isn't the telling of the tape. People act like the Philadelphia Eagles are all Saquon Barkley. Last time I checked, Saquon Barkley wasn't playing defense. The Philadelphia Eagles have number 1 defense in football. Defensive stat comparison. Again, tell me what you're basing this on. Opponents yards per play, Philly, 4.8. Opponents points per play, Philly, 0.296. Opponents completion percentage, 62%, Philly. Opponents third down conversion percent, 36%, Philly. Opponents red zone scoring percentage, Philly, 49%. Tell me what you're basing this on. What are you basing this on? I mean, it's one thing to say that you want the Rams to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm with you. You cannot base what the Eagles, what the Vikings, what the Rams and the Vikings did and compare it to the Eagles and the Rams. I'm telling you, the Eagles are better than the Rams. That's not conjecture. They're better than the Rams, Michelle. Jay Recruiter said they have to win. Based on what? Based on what? Roberta, she said not by Jalen Hurts. Roberta, somebody gonna have to tell me. What are they basing it on? I mean, you cannot base it on that Viking. No, you can't base it on that. Upset alert. We're gonna look at that one next. Well, Wilson Santiago. We'll look at that one next. Freddie said if the Eagles, and I say if the Eagles get by the Rams, they'll get dog walked by. Man, let me tell you something. I don't think Detroit's going to dog walk them. Y'all better hear what I'm telling you. The defense for the Detroit Lions is decimated. Aaron Glenn, similar to Mike Zimmer, has been doing more with less. Detroit mess around and let Philadelphia control TOP. That stat is what you can control with the run game. They mess around with that TOP on offense. I'll take Philly's defense to be able to hold the Detroit Lions offense. And I'm not saying they're going to hold them to 20 points. But Ben Johnson will not be running up the score on Detroit. I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to run it up on them. Philly's defense, y'all are not hearing me. Y'all are not hearing me as it applies to Philly. Philly's defense. I do not understand why people keep talking about Saquon Barkley. Philly's defense is the real deal. Philly's defense is the real deal. Let me blow this up for y'all. Maybe some of y'all are not in the know on this. 1, 1, 2, 1, 9, 22, 4, 1. Opponent's points, they're number 1 in the league. Team score an average of 17 points. Opponent's yards, they keep them below 300. Opponent's play per yards. Opponent's points per play, they're number 2. Opponent's yards per play, they're number 1. Opponent's third down conversion, you don't make many on them, they're number 9. Opponent's fourth down conversion, 22. And they're not worried about that. They're not going to let you get many of those. Opponent's red zone scoring percent, number 4. Opponent's TDs per game, 2 TDs per game. What are y'all basing this on? Everybody keep talking about Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts is a deal. Y'all better start putting some respect on these guys' defense. Their defense against the run, 10, 9, 6, 9, and 2. Opponent's rush play percentage, 41%. Opponent's yards, they're number 9. Rushes, number 6. Rush yards, number 9. Rush TDs. They don't even average. Opponents barely average 1 rushing touchdown against the Rams per game. Let that sink in. Look at them against the pass. Number 23 pass play percentage. Completion percentage. Look at this. They're number 5. Pass play yards, they're number 1. Opponents' passes, they're number 12. Opponents' pass yards, they're number 1. Opponents' interception thrown percentage, they're number 6. Their safeties are ball hawks. They're number 16 in sacks. I'm telling y'all, I don't know. I really don't know what y'all basing this on. I don't know what y'all basing this on. I know some of us, we like certain teams, but at the end of the day, I want you to look at where the Rams defense rank. I'm talking about their defense. Look at this. 15, 25, 13, 23, 19, 6, 6, and 16. They're mid-pack at best. At best. Their defense. You want to see their Achilles heel? Look at them against the run. Opponents' rush yards, they're number 26. They're giving up 4.6 yards a carry. What do you think Saquon Barkley is going to do? Opponents' rushes, 27 per game. How many times you think that the Rams are going to rush the ball? They're going to run the ball. Look at their opponents' rush yards. 129 yards per game. Now, they're giving up an average of 1 touchdown per game on the ground. But we already saw what Saquon Barkley did to him. He got 2 tubs on him. Now, I want you to look at this. They're still mid-pack against the pass. This is not even going to be an issue. Because Jalen Hurts is not going to throw the ball. I guarantee you. If Jalen Hurts throws the ball more than 25 times, I'll be shocked. Nisi, if he throws the ball more than 20 times in the first half, I'm going live. There is no way he's going to do it. There's no way. No. Just when you look at this overall, they're no match for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the 37-20 score, the first time they showed, it translated. If you look at even at the Rams offense, it's not like they're top flight offense. They're mid-pack, 19, 15, 16, 15, 25, 6, 25, 17. They're not even top of the line in offense. They're mid-pack going against the number 1 defense in the league. I'm going to tell you, Detroit, High-powered offense. Defense wins championships. It does. Defense wins championships. I'm really concerned about the Rams going into this game. I just don't know what, they had a great pass rush last week against the Vikings. You're not going to get that same opportunity against the Eagles. They're just not going to throw the ball a lot. Unless Kellen Moore hits his head on a rock, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities at sacking Jalen Hurts. Not only that, he's not Sam Darnold. Jalen Hurts is way more elusive than Sam Darnold. I'm definitely taking the Eagles over the Rams. I am definitely taking the Eagles over the Rams. No competition. I see the score being somewhere around 31-14. 31-14, 31-21 max. Now, if the Rams get a vicious pass rush against the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm still taking the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles in a 17-13 win. If they get a pass rush, that means the score will be close. But if they can't stop the run between Saquon Barkley, Gainwell, and Jalen Hurts, it's a wrap. And I think that I also think Jalen Hurts is going to throw in a few wrinkles. They're probably going to even try to get a few passes on them and get AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, as well as I think Goddard and I'm thinking that's their tight end. I don't see in any universe where the Rams are going to beat the Eagles. I mean, y'all can tell me all you want to, and you're entitled to that opinion. But all the stats, previous game this season does not support what y'all are saying. Let me see here. Let me see where Michelle at. You got to say on that one. Then I come back up. Okay, let me see what Michelle. Michelle said Eagles get by the Rams. It ain't happening. Oh, it ain't happening. Eagles. Okay, you said Eagles get by the Rams. Eagles going to the Super Bowl. Eagles will destroy Detroit. Oh, they getting by the Rams. They are getting by the Rams, Michelle. And I'm going to tell you this. They're built to beat the Rams. And they're built to beat the Detroit Lions. And the reason why I'm saying that, we're looking at their offenses. But if I think about the Detroit and the Eagles game, what I'm looking at is how decimated Detroit's defense is. What answer will they have for Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley? What answer will they have? If I'm the Eagles, if they get to Detroit, I'm running. You just keep Ben Johnson's offense off the field. The Philadelphia Eagles are built to win, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. They're built to win. And I'm hoping Jerry starts trying to build our team like that. Let him start building our team like that. Get Dak Prescott a run game. Get him a run game. That's what everyone else is doing. Get a run game. Man, you can work wonders with a run game. Troy said the Rams are starting 2 kids on the D-line that are growing up. They're going to get dominated. Wilson said, but Philly and the Lions have to win because if they get bumped, Jerry will use that and say, look at what happened to those teams. This is why, Wilson, I keep saying we have a vested interest in the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Rams aren't built any different in the grand scheme of things than the Cowboys. They may be slightly better on defense, better run game, but if they mess around and go further, well, everything about having a run game goes out the window. This is why Jerry said, remember what he said on the radio, they have to win and they have to hit big. They do. Yes, sir, Vincent, 255. He tore him up. Ice Cold said that push is wild. It is, isn't it? Blue Star, what's going on? He said Eagles parade ends Sunday. He said keep it by G. It's hard to beat a team twice. More rare in the playoffs. I think they're going to beat them. Nisi said the tush push will get banned in the league once that. Oh, my God. You better believe it. That is when they will step in if Dak Prescott started doing it and being successful with it. Ice Cold said, "Now McCarthy is 3rd and 1. Let's throw." For sure. Jay Recruiter said Rams have won 6 in a row. If you take out that last game of the season where they rested the starters, yeah, the buck stops here. The Eagles are about to put hands on them. Philly O-line bully people. They're about to put hands on them. That Rams pass rush is not going to look the same, y'all. It's just not going to look the same. It's not going to look the same. Freddie said, watch hers get hurt on one of these days doing the tush push. That will end it. Hey, Freddie, you know what I saw? You know what I think is genius? The Baltimore Ravens, rather than letting Lamar Jackson do it, they're letting the tight end do it. Genius. Why let Lamar Jackson do it? He's a smaller quarterback. No, get a tight end to do it. Freddie, you may be on to something. Philly may need to look at that in the future. But the reason why they're letting Jalen Hurts do it is because I think he squats somewhere around, 600 pounds? I think that's why they're letting him do it. Ravens versus Bills. Best game of the weekend. I'm 100% with you. But I'll tell you this. Let's look at this KC game for a moment. This game is very intriguing. And the reason why this game is intriguing, if it comes down to the Houston Texans offense, I can just go ahead and tell y'all now, they have no shot. They literally have no shot. If it comes down to their offense, they don't have a shot because the Los Angeles Chargers just were not good enough to capitalize on a couple of turnovers that they made. They will not be able to make any turnovers if they're going to beat the Chiefs. It is not going to happen. You want to talk about a mismatch. You want to talk about a mismatch. The Houston Texans defense is the one thing that may be able to keep them in this. It's the one thing that may be able to keep them in this. I have no clue how the Houston Texans have more yards per play, but the Kansas City Chiefs have struggled this year. Points per play, Houston Texans. Rush play percentage, Houston Texans. I think where the problems are going to come in, though, for the Houston Texans, this could be a problem for Patrick Mahomes. The Houston Texans have a bona fide pass rush. They do. The Houston Texans have a bona fide pass rush. And let's see here. I don't kind of know what Kansas City's schedule looked like this year. I want to see if they were on a schedule. I'm sure they played them this year. Let's see here. Let's see. So, of course, they played them. They're in the same division, duh. Oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Are they in the same division? I know they played them. I see they played them here. Okay, they're not in the same division, I don't think. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so it looks like here towards the end, this was the game they played. This was the first game they played. Okay. 19-27, the Kansas City Chiefs. And my thought process on the Houston Texans is the Houston Texans have a problem scoring points. And look at this. This is what I'm telling you. Look at C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud in this game, 2 interceptions. 2 interceptions in this game. Joe Mixon, 57 yards. Tank Dell, 98 yards receiving. My concern for the Houston Texans, I think their defense will do well. I just don't think their offense can do anything with the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think they can do anything with the Kansas City Chiefs. And anytime I see a quarterback throwing this much, he threw 39 times in a loss. And a part of that is probably because he's having to make up for this interception that he's thrown, trying to get back in the game. I don't think the Texans are going to be the team that's going to stop the Chiefs. I think the team that's going to stop the Chiefs is going to be between the Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. But if the Houston Texans, and this to me will be the upset of the entire season. If the Houston Texans beat the Kansas City Chiefs, it is literally going to be the upset of the season. Because I am telling you, the Houston Texans have been struggling bad. And I mean very bad offensively. It has just been, people are calling it the sophomore slump for C.J. Stroud. But thankfully, his defense especially, they stepped up really big last week. Okay, so the game starts at 3:30 tomorrow. I mean, again, just kind of looking at this game in totality, every metric almost goes over to you look at, and this is really the big matchup for me. The Texans, when you look at the Texans' offense against the Chiefs' defense, pass efficiency 17, overall rushing efficiency 17, pressure rate 17. That goes to the Chiefs. I think that what C.J. Stroud will be running for his life. I think he's going to be running for his life. But look at this Houston Texans defense. It's pretty good. Problem is, Patrick Mahomes, I keep saying this, Patrick Mahomes is the smartest running quarterback in the league. He got some wheels on him. They'll get after him, but he got some wheels on him. He has definitely got some wheels on him. Wilson said you have to tush push and Barkley on 3rd and 1. It's difficult to deal with. They're lethal. They're lethal. They are. Vikes or paper tigers. Yeah, for real. Ice Cold Cowboy. I'll take my chances with the vet in Stafford. He's gonna get tore up. He can't run a lick. They're gonna tear him up. Eagles -6. Bet it. G's out on the Rams D line. They are real. They're not gonna look the same against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not saying they're not real. They're just not going to look the same against the Philadelphia Eagles. Watch what I tell you. The Philadelphia Eagles O-line is the real deal too. They'll probably get to Jalen Hurts a couple of times or two, but got to understand, Sam Darnold cannot get loose like Jalen Hurts. They're two different people. They are two different quarterbacks, and there's a reason why he's no longer starting in this league. Ask the Vikings how finessed the Rams were. But the Vikings are not really. The Vikings, you could tell, their offensive line is not that good. The Eagles' offensive line is good. You don't be the number 1 rushing team in the league just because of Saquon Barkley. Somebody got to be blocking, y'all. I'm telling you. For real, Wilson Santiago, that D-line must have taken a break the last time they played. Where were they? Where were they when they played the last time? Michelle said, don't sleep on the Rams. If they lose, it'll be because of the 20. I'm telling you, they're a finesse team. And they're an indoors team, too. I understand what you're saying. I don't think it's going to be just that. I just don't think they're going to have an answer for the run game. They're not going to have an answer for the run game. They didn't the last time. They're not going to have a run game. And the kryptonite for a rushing team, a team that can rush the passer, the kryptonite is the run game. You just run on them. You batter them with the run. And then you're going to take a couple of shots. You're going to take a couple of deep shots with Jalen Hurts with play action pass. Yeah, they're going to beat the brakes off the Rams. I also give the Houston Texans a small shot because of their defense. Their defense is nice. If they can do, and they will not be able to do it as efficiently as they did against Justin Herbert, but if the Texans can manage to turn over Patrick Mahomes 2 times, they may have a shot at beating the Kansas City Chiefs. They may have a shot. But the only problem is the Texans got their own problems with C.J. Stroud and his turnovers. They are going to have to make sure he doesn't make turnovers either. That's going to be one of the issues with the Kansas City Chiefs. But I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning the game again. I think somewhere again around 27-14. Probably will be similar to the last time. The Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, win the game. I do believe the Kansas City Chiefs win the game. Who y'all got? Kansas City, Houston Texans. Upset or not? I definitely do not see an upset coming. I think KC will be battling it out between the I'm telling you, this game right here, I think this is going to be the game of the weekend. The Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens, both MVP candidates. This will be the game of the season. I mean, the game of the playoffs. Baltimore and Buffalo. This is going to be Clash of the Titans right here. This is literally going to be Clash of the Titans. Now, if I'm not mistaken, though, early in the season, let's not play around with this. If I'm not mistaken, earlier in the season, the Baltimore Ravens, I thought they dismantled, if I'm not mistaken. They dismantled the Buffalo Bills. I'm sure they did. Let's look at the schedule here. Buffalo. This is going to be one of the best games of the weekend. But let's not play around with this. The Baltimore Ravens dismantled the Buffalo Bills. It was like a college team playing a high school game. Playing a high school team. And when you look at both of them, you think about it. Neither one of them had great yards passing. Now, this is regular for Lamar Jackson, so it's no big deal. Josh Allen was 16 for 29, 180. Lamar was 13 for 18, 156. I love how they play this game. I hope the Cowboys convert Dak Prescott to 25 throws a game. Here's the difference. It's the same thing with the Rams and Saquon Barkley. Will the Buffalo Bills, Alex, will the Buffalo Bills have an answer for Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, y'all. We have a vested interest in both of these teams because this should encourage Jerry Jones even more to go get a running game for this team. And I mean a power run game because Derrick Henry destroyed Pittsburgh last week. He destroyed the Buffalo Bills this year. It's going to be a great game, Alex. But I'm telling you, man, this doggone Baltimore Ravens team is scary with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Man, that's scary right there. I just don't see, even going up against Kansas City, man, Kansas City is going to have their work cut out for them against the Buffalo Bills in this playoff game. Let's see here. I want to make sure, look back on the season, because I think they played. Let me see. So they played earlier in the season. And it seemed like earlier in the season, Derrick Henry was not quite getting loose like he is now. But he was only 13 for 46. So if you do 13 for 46, and watch this. Y'all remember that formula I keep telling you? If Lamar Jackson is going to throw the ball 41 times, if it's me playing Lamar Jackson, I feel pretty good. You don't want your quarterback throwing 41 times unless he's Patrick Mahomes. And even then, you don't want him throwing it 41 times. If Lamar Jackson, with his skill set, is throwing the ball 41 times, yeah, you're pretty much going to beat him. you're pretty much going to beat them. He was a one-man show. 16 carries, 122, 26 for 41, 273. The key for the Baltimore Ravens to win, and let me show you these stats. The key for the Baltimore Ravens to win is this is exactly what you don't want. You do not want Lamar Jackson being the focal point of your offense as in 400 yards. He literally had 400 yards of offense. I mean, that's crazy work. That is absolute crazy work. You don't want him being that much of the offense. You're much more potent when you have Derrick Henry being the main focal point of your run game. You dominate games with a run game. You dominate games. Lamar Jackson may tire out in offense. Derrick Henry cracks in offense. He cracks in offense. Because I tell you, cornerbacks, they hate to see him coming. Safeties hate to see him coming. Linebackers hate to see him coming. Derrick Henry is going to be a force in these playoffs. But this was the Kansas City Chiefs game. It was. It lets you know the Chiefs do have sort of a defense. They have a good defense for sure. But again, first game of the season. I think that was the first game of the season or either the second. So Derrick Henry got his feet up under him now. I mean, he's looking different now. Derrick Henry's got his feet up under him. So I'm not worried about them when they face them, but they undressed the Buffalo Bills 35-10. They undressed them. The game was pitiful. Pitiful. Undressed them. Alex, I don't think they'll do it to him again like that, but I do think that the Bills are going to have a hard time beating Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. They are. Nisha said Jerry already talked to Kelly. Go Rams. You know, hey, if they come out looking different, man. You know what, Jay Recruiter? I'm just kind of like, I feel like bad weather games are like a thing or like a relic of the past. Some people like it. I don't like the bad weather games. I don't like seeing those type of games where you can't throw the ball because it's raining outside. I mean, some people do. That's old school. Not me. I don't like the bad weather games. Let's see here. They just don't want Philly winning. You know what? I'm not a Philly fan, but we have a vested interest in this. I want to see Jerry do some of the same stuff with this team that Philly has done with Jalen Hurts. Because everybody's talking about how Kellen Moore ain't this and Jalen Hurts ain't that. They only won 14 games. Andre said they're going to do it for their city, LA. Yeah, there's a story there. There is a story there. I'm not going to lie to you. There is a story with this LA thing. I hope the NFL WWE doesn't show its ugly head and all of a sudden we get the Rams going to the Super Bowl for LA burning down. Prayers for those people in LA. But this is football. Vincent Johnson said, Michelle, then I suggest the Rams go to Philly yesterday to get acclimated for this beatdown. Yeah, they getting beat down. They getting beat down. Rams D-line just had like 8 sacks. I think it was 9. Somebody said it was 9.5, but they will not do it. They will not do it, Troy. They will not do it against the Eagles. That defensive line that offensive line is the real deal. Ice Cold Cowboy, boy, that Cowboy love is coming out. He called them the Sheagles. He said the Sheagles. He said on paper the Sheagles are, but the Rams are on fire. I don't think so. Nope, I don't think so. Let me look at what you're talking about here. It's hard to win in this league, so I'm not going to trip. But. So you said they're on fire. So let's go back. Eagles beat the brakes off of them. The Saints are trash. I remember the game against the Bills. Very good game. They beat the Rams. They beat the 49ers in a bad weather game. That game was absolutely trash. Excuse me. The Jets are not good. The Cardinals are not good. The Seahawks beat them. They rested their starters. So, based on those teams, they beat the Vikings. None of those teams, including the Vikings, are on the level of the Eagles. It's amazing to me. They had no answer for the Eagles. But after the Eagles, look at the teams they beat. The Rams are having a down year. No Christian McCaffrey. They're having a bad year. No Brandon Ayuk. They're having a very down and bad year. They beat the 49ers. Got into a shootout with the Rams. With the Bills. Give them credit for that. 13-9 divisional game, Cardinals. Cardinals are trash. Jets are trash. They got beat by the Seahawks. The Vikings game, to me, does not equate to the Eagles. The Eagles are way, way, way better. The Eagles are way better. The Eagles are way better than the Vikings. Offensively and defensively, everywhere you look, they are way, way, way better. But it's obvious that y'all want the Eagles to lose. I love that Cowboy love. I appreciate it. Okay, super chat over here. Hold on a second. Ride in the house. What's going on? Appreciate that $1.99 super chat. Man, let me tell you something, boy. We're gonna be on the construction here next week. When spend some money on some supplies, man. Boy, when you check it out, it's gonna look totally different in here in the next week or two. Man. Yes, sir. We about to do some things in here. Appreciate everyone supporting the channel. Hopefully memberships will be up soon. Definitely hope y'all support me on that. Like I said, I want to build a community where I don't have to depend on all of the betting houses and stuff like that. Don't believe in that stuff. Want to build a community for the Cowboys fans that the fans actually support, so we don't have to bend the knee to anybody. But appreciate that super chat, Brother Rod. Man, you need to come through, man. You need to come through and watch the game. But I think you got to work this weekend. But y'all, man, you ought to come on through. Let's see here to get some more of your comments here. She said it's somebody going to kidnap Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. I don't think they have a chance, Roberta. Well, let me change it. They have a chance because their defense is so good. But they better turn Patrick Mahomes over at least 2 to 3 times. Kevin Bryant, I love football. Ravens and Lions. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I would love to see the Eagles get to the NFC Championship game. But I would love to see the Detroit Lions go to the Super Bowl because it would be their first Super Bowl. I would also love to see the Ravens. I would also love to see Lamar Jackson go to the Super Bowl. I think it would be good for the NFL that you have 2 different teams in there. Because if it turns out to be the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, which will be a rematch, which don't get me wrong, I won't be mad. I'll watch it. I think it'll be great football. I think it's just more exciting for people when you get teams that haven't went before. And you don't have to see the same old again. So, again, Houston Texans are not, I don't think they're going to beat, I don't think the Houston Texans are going to beat I don't think the Houston Texans are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to, I'm going to tell you something. Kansas City Chiefs looked extremely good the last time we saw them. I'm going to go out on a limb again. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to make another statement game. Until they get to the next game, it's going to be different. I think they make a statement again. I think they're going to make a statement against the Houston Texans. I'll be shocked if the Houston Texans score more than 10 points in this game. I'll be absolutely shocked. And I think the reason why the score will be something around 28-10, 34-10, simply because C.J. Stroud has been turning the ball over at an alarming rate. He has been turning the ball over. I don't think they're going to have a chance against the Chiefs. I don't think they're going to have a real chance other than the defense doing to Patrick Mahomes what they did to Justin Herbert. Let's look at the last game real quick. Oh, Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills. I'm calling it again. I don't think it'll be a beat down like it was before. I believe the Baltimore Ravens, man, it will be crazy if Buffalo beats Baltimore. I'm not going to act like the Buffalo just can't beat Baltimore. But Baltimore is so dominant running the ball, I think Baltimore will win this game differently than the first time. Probably be something like, for me, I would say it'd be something like 27-17, maybe 27-24, depending upon if it comes down to the wire. Remember, I told you last week, Baltimore has had problems keeping leads. So it wouldn't shock me if Buffalo beat them, but I think Baltimore will prevail, and I think it's going to be Patrick Mahomes and the crew versus Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Now let's get to the other game, because I know as NFC fans, we don't want to see the Philadelphia Eagles win, and we definitely don't want to see the Washington Commanders win. I think the Detroit Lions are too much offensively for the Washington Commanders. I just think they're too much. I really do. I think they are way too much. The Detroit Lions offense, man, the Detroit Lions offense is a handful. It really is. It is an absolute handful. Let's look at the matchup on that real quick. I didn't show you the matchup on Baltimore and Buffalo. Let me let you look at that real quick, and then I'm going to jump right over there. Once again, just looking at them, I mean, the Baltimore Ravens are better than Buffalo in every category. Yards per play, points per play goes to Buffalo. Rush play percentage, though, goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Pass play percentage, negligible simply because they don't throw the ball a lot in Baltimore. Completion percentage, it's quality over quantity. Third down conversion percentage, red zone scoring percentage, 74% is insane. The Baltimore Ravens are better all the way around on offense. Defense, the Baltimore Ravens defense is just dominant. 5.2 yards per play. Opponents points per play 0.3. Opponents completion percentage 63. Opponents third down conversion 40. Opponents red zone scoring percentage 54. This game, it is the Baltimore Ravens game to lose. It really is the Baltimore Ravens game to lose. I do not see where there is going to be a chance. I'm not saying there's not going to be a chance, but more than likely it is going to be more of the same as it applies to these two teams. But again, let's look at this last one. Detroit. Look at this. This is a flat-out mismatch again. Detroit, 6.2 yards per play. Points per play, 0.5. Rush play percentage, about the same. Pass play percentage, 52. Completion percentage, 72. Third down conversion, 47. Red zone scoring, 69.44. Every category goes to the Detroit Lions. Offensively and defensively, even with that injured defense. I do think Jaden Daniels, he's been playing really good. But Detroit is going to be a handful for Dan Quinn. And one of the problems that I think that Dan Quinn and the Washington Commanders are going to have with the Detroit Lions, they can't stop the run. Dan Quinn still can't stop the run. He just can't. Dan Quinn can't figure it out. He can't stop the run. And one of the things that the Washington Commanders do well is, one of the things that the Detroit Lions do well is run the ball. And it looks like they're going to have both of the running backs from what I'm hearing. Let me see here. The Detroit Lions are just a juggernaut on offense. They are a juggernaut, and they are just hard to stop. Let's look back here. I'm thinking there was a meeting. Let's see. Okay, so Washington did not play. Okay. I thought Washington played the Detroit Lions. Oh, wait. Yeah, they didn't play them. We didn't play them either. They beat the brakes off us, so we actually didn't play them. I don't know what it was when we saw them. They dismantled us. Okay, so they didn't wind up playing Washington. They didn't wind up playing Washington early in the season. But again, the Washington Commanders, they're going to have all kinds of problems with Detroit. I don't think they're going to have an answer. I don't think they're going to have an answer. I see this game being somewhere around 38-14, 38-17. Everybody's talking about, again, it's an upset. I don't see it. Let me see what you guys have. I don't see it. Eagles versus Lions will be fireworks. Yes, sir. And I'm gonna be here for that one. Lions will have the easiest game, a slaughter. Yes. Yes, I agree with you, Ice Cold Cowboy. It is going to be problems. Yeah. Wilson Santiago, I'm with you. Philly run game too much. Philly run game is too much. Philly run game is actually going to be too much for a lot of people. I think the Detroit Lions better make sure they score every time they get the ball if they see the Eagles. They better score every single time, because I'm telling you, that run game for the Eagles is serious. Ice Cold said, bye-bye, Deadskins. You got all the names. Sheagles and the Deadskins. Boy, you got all the names. He said Saquon Broccoli is the problem. Man, you got all the names, Ice Cold. You got all the names. Sheagles. You got all the names. Sheagles. You got them the Deadskins, Saquon Broccoli. You got all the names. Wilson said it'll be fun if the Commanders win. Oh, wow. Man, if the Commanders win, let me tell y'all something. If the Commanders win, boy, if I'm the Eagles, you want to talk about somebody with some extra incentive. I'm ending the Rams if I'm the Eagles. I'm ending them. If the Commanders beat the Lions, if I'm Philly, Super Bowl in my mind already. I'm going to end the Rams. Boy, I'm going to be so hyped up. If I'm the Eagles, I would be so hyped up if I saw the Commanders beat Detroit. I know I'm going to the Super Bowl. No doubt about it. I know I'm going to the Super Bowl. I do. MG says Saquon 2 fumbles. Not happening. Not happening. Vincent said they manhandled the Rams, and they're going to do it again. I said, I hope the Sheagles drink. He said, I hope they drink dog water during the game. Yeah, they're getting better. They're not good enough, though. They're going to get tore up. Michelle said, this is the playoffs. The Rams have a different mindset. They're getting tore up. What make us think the Eagles don't have a different mindset? Why don't the Eagles have a different mindset? Jalen Hurts will get sacked at least 5 times. I don't think they'll get that many opportunities. Let me see something here. Let me look at something here. So let's look at something here. I'm going to show you why I don't think they're going to get the opportunity. Let me see. Let me show you why, y'all. I understand what you're saying. Let me show you why this isn't going to happen. He will not get the opportunity to sack Jalen Hurts. They will not get the opportunity to sack Jalen Hurts 5 times. You want to know why? Look at this. You want to know why Sam Darnold was sacked 9 times? What do I keep telling y'all? Anybody who's been here, what is the magic number I keep saying the number of times a quarterback should throw the ball. 25 times. If you're telling me that Sam Darnold dropped back 40 times, I'm going to tell you, yeah, they probably got beat. You want to know what's strange? Look at how many times Matthew Stafford dropped back. You want your quarterback hovering around 25 times. If you can get less than 25 times, yes, that is exactly what you want. Because that means not only did we throw the ball, quality over quantity, but we ran the ball well. We ran the ball well. Aaron Jones didn't have opportunity, didn't run the ball well. If you're telling me that Sam Darnold threw the ball 40 times, I'm going to tell you, yeah, he probably did get sacked 9 times. They're not getting that opportunity against the Eagles. They're not. The Eagles aren't that dumb. The Eagles are literally not that dumb. And you know how I know the Eagles are not that dumb? Let me show you again. The magic number for your quarterback winning games. 25 throws per game. You want to be in that area. You want to know how I know this? Again. Going back to the Eagles and the Rams, look how many times Jalen Hurts. So you're telling me Jalen Hurts drops back 22 times. So you're saying you're sacking him 5 of the 22 times. It's not happening. It's not happening. Arm tackles, some of the things they were doing to Sam Darnold, you're not bringing down Jalen Hurts. He squats 600 pounds. You're not bringing him down. You got to get square up hits on Jalen Hurts. You're not bringing him down with this stuff they brought down Sam Darnold with. Number 2, you're not getting the opportunity at 9 sacks because that means if Jalen Hurts throws the ball 22 times, that means you would have to sack him 9 of those 22 times. It's not happening. It's not happening, especially when you can do this. The Vikings couldn't do this. He ran the ball 26 times. They're not going to give him the opportunity. That's the key. You don't give a team an opportunity. This is where the coach for the Vikings, it was absolutely silly. He was running long, developing routes. Sam Darnold having to drop back 5-7 drop, 5-step, 7-step drops. And by the time he got to 5 steps, they were already on him. O-line not ready for that. Philly's O-line is better than that. They're not going to throw the ball excessively. Unless, like Nisi said, unless Jerry Jones has called up Kellen Moore and said, hey, man, dial up the pass. We need you. No, they're not going to get the opportunity. It's going to be an entirely different game. It's going to be an entirely different game. They will not get the opportunity to do any of those things that they're talking about doing. Ice cold. AJ. Oh, man. Rams are starting 2 kids. Oh, yeah. Let me go back down here. Let me go back down here. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm with you again with Santiago. I understand, but they do not want them to win. Vincent Johnson, yes, they are paper tigers. For sure. Y'all keep thinking they're D on fire, man. They haven't been playing nobody yet. You just wait until they play these doggone the Sheagles, as ice cold Cowboy call them. Andre, yeah, you did. They're doing it for the city. Let me go down a little further. I'm sorry. Vincent said Detroit is Super Bowl bound. It seems like it. It does. Eagles get by the Rams. They're going to Super Bowl. Yeah, it's going to be a great game between them and Detroit. Another 14-win squad about to get beat by Stafford and company. Not happening. Only thing I like about Philadelphia, Ice Cold, where you come up with all these names at, man? You got the Shingles, now you got Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the cheesesteak sandwiches. Troy said Rams have the edge in coaching. I don't think so. I like Nick Sirianni. He got some dog in him. The Broncos defense was way better. Man, I don't know. They got showed up. Joseph Phillips, Philly second is beatable. The issue is the D-line smothers the quarterback. Telling you, man, if you're talking about them doggone Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to be hard. They're going to be hard. Yeah, you're saying the secondary. Yes. Now, their safeties are bar none. You can beat them on the corners. You can. Their D-line is nasty. You're right. Their D-line is nasty. Nietzsche said we're basing it on that we are Cowboys. We Cowboy fans, we don't like Philly, so we are rooting for the Rams. We have a vested interest in the Philadelphia Eagles, though. I like the way their team is built. I don't like the team. I like the way the team is built. I want Jerry to build that same type of team around Dak Prescott. Go and get this man a dynamic run game. Get him another wide receiver on the outside. If Ferguson don't turn it around this year, get you a tight end. Schoonmaker is looking pretty decent too. Give Micah Parsons some help on defense. J.K. Dobbins is no Saquon Barkley and cheese, but Puka and Cup will handle it. They're going to shut him down. Watch what I tell you. They're going to shut him down. Where were they the first meeting? They're going to shut him down. I'm with you, Vincent. If they throw more than 35 times, they're losing. It will be their goal for Jalen Hurts to throw 22 times again. Yeah, Broncos won my championship in defense. Yeah, they look good on defense this year. Shingles overrated. If they didn't have Broccoli, they would be 10-7. Yeah, but if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Ice Cold Cowboy. Jerry ready to talk to Kelly and go Rams. Yeah. I got Philly by 2 field goals. Oh, man, I got to buy way more than 2 field goals. They're going to beat the brakes off the Rams. You watch what I tell you. Ice Cold. Guess what? It ain't about Hurts. They got a good team around him. It don't matter if Hurts is overrated. They got a very good team around him. Dobbins gets first downs though. Watch what happens again in this game. Hurts throws enough to keep the rust off in case he actually needs to put up more than 25 passes. Exactly. Saquon will get his. Rams can't stop the run. They can't. My issue is on got to have it moments. Can Jalen Hurts throw the ball? Rams are going to dare Hurts to throw the ball, which he can't that well. You know what the other problem is, though? He can run the ball. I said I pay my study stats and play 20 fantasy football teams. That's the whole lie. Cal just waiting for Philadelphia. He gonna beat the brakes off the Rams. Super Bowl homes through Detroit. Yeah, I think it's it'd be a good story this year. Freddie says even if the Eagles sneak into the Super Bowl, KC and Buffalo will beat them. Oh, you think that Buffalo gonna beat the Ravens? Wow. It'll be crazy if they do. I'm telling y'all, if Lamar Jackson does not win this game and he does not go to the Super Bowl, this season is an absolute failure. It is. It's a failure. It's an absolute failure. This notion Hurts can't throw is ridiculous. He can. We've all seen him do it. Hate the Eagles, but stop the disrespect. Man, let me tell you, I've said it before. Hurts will throw 4, 5, or 6 passes in the game that'll make your head spin. Detroit versus Baltimore in the Super Bowl. That'd be a good Super Bowl. I do. Marcus Freeman getting any reaction as the next Dallas head coach. Marcus Freeman. Okay, I have to look at that one. Freddie, Jalen Hurts doesn't pass well enough to beat teams with elite quarterbacks. That's why I believe the Rams beat the Eagles. They're not going to have to pass the ball. I'm telling y'all, Stafford don't have a chance, man. Y'all talking about the Rams pass rush? Stafford is a sitting duck. He will be a sitting duck. I will not be surprised. Matthew Stafford fumbles once or twice. Eagles defensive line is crazy with it too. Trade 2026 first rounder for Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin hasn't won enough. I think he's a great coach. Probably not going to make that trade for him. Jimmy Johnson is saying trade him straight up, I think, or something. Trade, but now McCarthy is gone, so there's no trade. Yeah, I think it's going to be, I think Baltimore and Detroit will be a great Super Bowl. I do. Yeah, man, people going to start putting some respect on this dude, Jalen Hurts' name, man. Stop hating on this dude. Which y'all say would you rather have as head coach? Brady, Moore, or Cliff? Me. Wait, you saw out of those three, Brady, Moore, or Cliff? Ooh. Urgh. Cliff Kingsbury seems to be a pretty talented play caller. I'd like to see what he would do, what he could do with Dak Prescott. I wouldn't be mad if they got a Cliff Kingsbury to be the OC. I wouldn't. I think he might be really good. Yeah, man, squatting 600 pounds ain't no joke, man. You ain't getting on tackle like that. Michelle said Houston will have to play the perfect game to win. Yes. You're 100% right. 100%. And if they make the mistakes they've been making, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Kansas got all their players back. Yeah, they're going to be, I think they're going to make a statement game against Houston Texans. I think they're going to stomp them. Hurts can squat all he wants. All it takes is a wrong turn in his head doing the tushy pushy and bye-bye neck. Yeah, I think they might not think of letting somebody else run that play. Yeah, Jared, and I agree with you. And I think he has a better, the Rams are not better than the Eagles. They're not. They're not better than the Eagles. Joe Mixon may not play. Woo, boy. If Joe Mixon don't play, this game is over, ice cold cowboy. This game is over. Yeah, if Mixon don't play, man, this ain't even fair. It's over. They have no chance because I'm telling you, C.J. Stroud has not been good this year. Some of it has been because some of his weapons are hurt. Steve Spagnuolo. You know what? I was wondering about that saying, man. I was wondering if they would. I mentioned it earlier. I wonder if they put Steve Spagnuolo or if he'll be on the list. Buffalo will stop the Chiefs. I don't think they get past the Ravens, Jared. Oh, man, I can wait tomorrow night. Oh, man. Y'all wait for the live tomorrow night. Well, we're going to have some fun. To beat KC, you have to punish them. Yes. Their defense can, but their offense can't do anything. Oh, man, boy, if Mixon don't play, it's over. It's over. Yeah, Steve would really bring some toughness to this defense. The tush push is better than the butt for, but yeah, it was impressive how Mixon finished the Chargers game. It was. It really was. Gee, I'm biased. I hate the Shingles. Man, you got all the names, too. Rams about to get B-slapped again. I'm with you, Vincent. I think they're going to get pummeled. Pummeled. I think they're going to get pummeled, man. Alice, I agree with you, G, but if the Rams defense can hold up like what Green Bay did yesterday, it could be a problem for the Eagles. Not going to happen. Matthew Stafford is going, y'all, man, I'm telling you. Y'all not talking about this Rams offensive line, are you? Man, you just wait till these Eagles get after Matthew Stafford. It's over. It's over. He said even if the Eagles spelled by Motisha, a diehard Eagles fan wins, I said, boy, you're killing me over here. Nisi said Chiefs. Yeah, I'm with you. Chiefs is going to win this thing. KC 38-17. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Yep, Chiefs, I'm with you. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. Oh, wait, I got a super chat before I go. Hold on. Vincent Johnson, appreciate that $4.99 super chat. Great show. I appreciate you. Hey, we're gonna really clown tomorrow night. Cause Michelle gonna be telling me I told you so, or I'm gonna be telling y'all I told you so. It's going one of two ways. Marlon Brando in the crib. What's going on? Yeah, they have a chance. I mean, any given Sunday, if they getting the brakes beat off of them, you watch what I tell you. They getting the brakes beat off them. Michelle, let me tell you something. That will be the second biggest upset of the playoff season. It really will be. But again, that's going to do it for me. That'll be my time. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.